Hello, hello. It is me, Mox, and today something's a little different. Today, I'm going to be doing a podcast with my friends. I'm going to go and unmute over in Discord real quick to get things rolling with them and get into this.
Confused. I seem to have been given mod abilities.
Hello, mod abilities?
Hello, hi Mox.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Moving over into my main page for this. Guys, are you excited? We're doing the podcast thing we said we were going to do for years.
Doing podcast things.
We're doing podcast things. Exciting.
We're podcasters.
We are. We are now podcasters. We are pod people. So we've actually had this podcast name for a while. This is why I'm using it for now, which was Lab 404 or Lab Not Found.
Yeah.
So we have a cool, at least, podcast name going for us. Currently, I'm just using an old background I had for something. I don't remember what this was for, what I used this for. I've had this thing for years, and I figured, with nothing else better, this will be a good placeholder for it. I want to get something out of the way. This is going to be really awkward. Ronzi will disappear if my mouse isn't in a certain spot. Watch. He's gone. Just like that.
What?
I move my mouse and he's gone.
Okay, there it
Can't
is.
see what I'm doing. I'm hanging dong.
Yeah,
Waving it about.
probably shouldn't be doing that.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Let's get this going in the background. Hopefully it's not... Let me adjust the volume, please, before it blows my ears out.
Boom.
Nice, easy, royalty-free
5
music.
big booms.
5 big
Wow.
booms?
Boom. 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 Boom.
Okay. Hopefully
I don't know where it was
this isn't
5. I lost count. I was more like I wasn't
And
counting.
Ronzi is back. Again, so
Hey.
long as
Magic.
I have
Come
this
keep it.
right here, Ronzi doesn't disappear. Ronzi's existence is entirely dependent on whether my mouse is on there or not. It's
Can
nonsense.
only be viewed from certain angles.
Can only be viewed from certain angles. Can only be observed when observed. Like a cryptid.
There's something that was posted in my Discord that I'm just why?
We are a podcast. You want to talk about it?
Oh my god. Yeah, so one of my mods has posted up in the meme scene what looks like a Twitter post. And it's like a snippet from an advert. Need bassist and drummer to form conservative Rage Against the Machine.
Alright.
Looking for politically conservative bassist and drummer to start the right version of Rage Against the Machine. First things first, hats off to them for realizing what Rage Against the Machine are and what they stand for. I plan on singing and playing guitar and writing a lot of Rage-type songs and would like to tour the area, opening up for local political events. Also would like to have a set list of freedom-orientated cover songs. If you love America and are pissed off about the left and blah, yada, yada, yada. Doesn't fucking matter. No, anything you do anyway, but the tag at the top is, yes, sir, I'll do
Just what you tell me. Yeah, him.
Rumble
Yeah.
Legs is a great fucking name.
Some cyberpunk shit right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
To get some of the, I guess, normal first podcast stuff out of the way, goals for this thing, at the current moment, is just going to be a monthly thing, is the only thing that's been come up with. And other than that, it's kind of open to whatever the fuck we come up with. There will be swear words. If you are easily offended, welcome. I'm glad you could be here. If you are not easily offended, welcome. I'm glad you could be here.
I'm excited for my one and only podcast appearance.
We don't know how long we're going to be doing this. We don't know when we're going to be doing this. So you may be here more. I might not even be here for some of them. Who fucking knows?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess introductory things for those who don't know us. If you don't know who any of us are, I don't know how you found this. Who are you? What is your destiny? I'm Mox. I'm an art man, VTuber, glitch, and professional teething device for wolves, apparently.
Can confirm.
Can confirm.
I can't, never seen it. Fake news.
Right. Fake snooze.
Fake news. I just hear it. It could all be performative.
Yeah, my bite marks would say otherwise. Alright, next, Chuckleflux.
I am Chalk. I am just some guy. I occasionally stream when my arm's not broken.
That's true. You have a status condition, a status effect.
That is correct.
You are some guy who lives in the same lab as I do.
Yes, we are lab mates.
Lab partners.
I am Karonzi, the mediocre streamer.
No, don't you start with that. Don't you start with that.
Do we need to aggressively compliment you?
Self-deprecating asshole. And an outside consultant to the lab.
Outside consultant. This is Karanzi, the lab's drug dealer.
Don't
Yes,
ask where we got
and-
our stuff.
And on that note, you should go and order some Dubby using the Porchem code that you can see over there. I think it's over that way because I think
Yeah.
I reversed on your
Technically
screen.
speaking,
I think I'm going this way.
Yeah,
I'm the drug dealer, aren't I? Considering I'm selling caffeine.
that is a
I
substance.
don't.
It is a
It's
substance.
one of these ways. You take your pick as to where it is.
If you
Look
cross
at
your
it,
eyes,
look
you're correct in
back.
either direction.
Just pick one of them. Look, follow one of my fingers. Doesn't matter which. I think it's that way because I think I'm about the same level as it. Follow it. Go look at the ad. Follow the directions. Buy the stuff.
Consume. W.GG. For chem. Consume. Byproduct. Consume. Alrighty.
I love our cyberpunk dystopian present.
It's so wonderful. We got that out of the way. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing today? Chalk, you don't get to answer this right now.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I mean, been better. You know,
Been better. What do you mean?
everything is just like it's just in limbo. I mean, I think it's close enough for me to talk about it. I can't really name names, but like if I give enough context clues, you could probably piece together. But I work in a very niche industry, I guess.
Yes.
And
The
the
porn industry.
company's big. It's not niche.
What do you mean? It is
getting-
probably the most niche industry out there.
It depends on if you specialize or not. If you specialize, you're absolutely niche. If you're general, well, yeah, no, you're not really that
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. The company I'm working for is basically being shut down. Well, I think it was back in February. A lot of people in the company, we downsized from like over 100 people to like 20 or 30 people. So like, we are decidedly smaller. And yeah, it kind of, I'm kind of just in a holding pattern at the moment. Like, I'm locked in. I can't go anywhere until the end of an extension that I signed if I want extra money. And I want extra money.
I mean, fair enough.
Let's put it
enough.
that way. But yeah, it's just, you know, I mean, and then news of them selling the franchise, I guess you could say, that my company was part of, as it were. It's very weird in the structure. They've got companies within companies that make a group that they group together as a unit that are separate and run as a separate company in of itself. It's very convoluted.
It
and I
sounds
might
like
get
a
into
giant
more.
tax evasion scheme.
I mean, yeah, you know.
I do. I absolutely do. I'm not saying names. I'll die if I do. They'll shoot me.
I love our cyberpunk dystopian.
Unsubstantiated rumors. I will have you know.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
We would just every single instance is just a coincidence. It's a coinky dink.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I'll be able to talk more about it once I'm out, essentially.
We could both talk about our old work woes. I still haven't talked about mine. Oh well.
I mean, I won't be able to like freely talk, but I will at least name the company that I worked for. Mainly because it will be also on my CV.
True.
It's because it is still it's still technically a prestigious company within the industry. That's about as far as it gets. But yeah, it's just it's just holding, and I can't really do anything. But I do have to aggressively start looking for work in the next coming few months, which it's there, because there is no way that the streaming for me will go anywhere.
That's not necessarily true, sir. We just have to persist.
This is 1,000% true.
It's all about an endurance test. Just keep moving.
I've been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah, some people have been doing it for 10 and they finally get somewhere. It's just a matter of luck and patience.
And slowly improving your own skills.
Exactly.
It all of it is just pure luck.
Nah.
It's the luck of just having someone raid into you, or just having someone who is like one of the perfect clippers just looking for newer content creators to go through, and then you'll just happen to play a game that they clipped for, and you do something funny, and you end up in one of those clip comps, and then you can grab that way.
Nah.
It is a lot of it luck, because that's also another thing, is that there are probably people that have the self-centered arrogance to put forward their own clip. It's not something that I have. I find myself funny. I do not think I am funny.
Ronzi, what do we say about self-deprecating? Ronzi, you are...
I said I find myself funny.
Yeah, but you were also saying that only you find yourself funny, sir. And I think you're pretty funny. I think you're pretty funny altogether. Funny looking, ha 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 ha.
Exactly my point.
Besides, I'll have you know, it's not gonna be just luck. It's gonna be also skill. I'll prove it. I'm built different. All becomes the big.
Nuts.
Yeah, skill these nuts. My morning's been all right. I woke up to silence, which is not what it should have been. There should have been sounds and noises from all sorts of things, but there was nothing, which was really worrisome. And then I got up.
Sleep paralysis demon sitting on your head and engulfing you in his ass cheeks.
No, that's never been my sleep paralysis demons. The night is its own thing, but that's a whole conversation for another bit. So I'm gonna explain this, and this is gonna segue absolutely into chalk. Cause I got up, I was on my phone, and then I noticed there's a notification from early in the morning. That is, the Pepe Sylvia meme, if you're familiar with that. Mox, hello, Wisp. Don't know how much of the acknowledgement of chat we're going to be doing for the future, but for now, it's fine. Anywho, it's the Pepe Sylvia meme, and it's from Chalk, and it says, "I have not slept." And I'm concerned about this. And I gotta go eat food. I gotta get ready for my day. So I get up. I get fully dressed. I step out. I go over to go and get my shoes, which is right next to where Chalk's door is. The door is open and the man is not there. I'm more concerned. I know what he was supposed to do today at some point, and I figured that's probably what he was doing. However, with a mention like I have not slept, where the fuck is he? I head out. I walk to my local bodega. The front door of said building is surrounded by people all carrying boxes. And when I say surrounded by people, I mean there is a crowd of people holding boxes in front of the front door, which is propped open by a bundle of firewood. And I'm like, am I even allowed to go in there? And I peek into it. There are 3 regular people walking around the store and then 2 people working the registers. I don't understand what the fuck's going on, so I squeeze my way in there. I grab some breakfast. I grab some energy drinks. I walk to the front. There is this stack of fucking hamburgers at the cashier stand. Like, the stand is already, like, halfway up your torso, right? The rest of it is, this stack of hamburgers is up to your shoulder from there. And I don't understand what the fuck it's all doing there. I do my things, and this teenager and this mom push their way through the crowds into there. It's their cheeseburgers that they couldn't afford, but they have shown up with a jar of fucking coins to buy their cheeseburgers. And they're mad because the cashier didn't wait with their transaction, and they have to start over again. So I get my shit, I leave that behind.
Sorry. So they expected the cashier to just hold the till?
Yes.
For them to go however far it would take for them to go and get this jar of coins so that they could pay for their cheeseburgers.
You are 100% correct.
Fuck off.
I agree. I don't understand what it's stupid. Anywho, I got my stuff. I got the hell out of there. I had a pleasant walk back to the place until my route, which I took to get there, to be clear, was suddenly blocked off with caution tape. So I had to redirect my route around, pass through at least one person's garden to do so. And then I finally made it my way back upstairs, where my key did not unlock the door. I can't explain it. I turned it all the way to the correct direction, heard the click and everything, and the door did not unlock. Did it 2 more times. The 3rd time was the charm. And again, Chalk was still not home during all of this.
I was where I was supposed to be. I was at PT.
You were at your physical therapy.
Yes.
Alrighty. Now that I've gotten my bit of the day out of the way, what happened, sir?
Well, I have been playing a game that you recommended to me.
I didn't think we were gonna get here this early.
Well, this is... You're asking me why I did not sleep last night and why I spent from like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. pacing in the kitchen.
Oh no, it was me. What do you mean you were pacing around for 2 hours?
Yes, because it was like, I can't sleep now. Because, mind you, the only reason I stopped playing is that the Switch died.
Oh no!
So I had to stop.
Wow.
So I put it on the charger, and I went, I can't sleep. I can't sleep with all these thoughts in my head. I'm just gonna walk. And think.
Nothing quite like it's your fault I didn't go to sleep last night.
Mox, you don't know.
You're right,
The curse you have put on me, Ricky fucking Bobby.
Oh no, it's that bad. Okay.
It's that bad. When we get to talking about it, I will explain why it is that bad.
Do we want to just start with that then? It's not like we have a structure for this shit.
I guess we don't if we want to start with my current fucking, like, crackhead fucking conspiracy bullshit over here.
Alright. We'll begin, and I want to begin simply with 2 things. First thing is this. Thank you. Second thing is, so this game I recommend it to Chalk on a whim because some people on Blue Sky that I trust their opinions of were talking highly about it. They said that it was a good time and that they haven't had as much fun with these kinds of games in a long time. And I thought, that's cool. And I looked it up, and it was made by the people who made the Danganronpa series. I don't remember what the game's called off the top of my head. You could probably provide that real quick.
If you just look up Last Defense Academy, that'll get you where you need to be.
All right, Last Defense
It's
Academy.
got a longer title, but that's the easy title.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just go with that. And I realized, it's like a Fire Emblem kind of game. A Danganronpa Fire Emblem game. That sounds cool. That sounds pretty cool. I saw Ronzi's head turn at that.
Just a bit Fire Emblem mentioned that neuron.
And I was like, you know what? It has a free demo. I'm gonna recommend this to someone else that I really know enjoys these kinds of things, and that's Chalk. And he needs more things to do with his arm being in the condition it is. What's the harm in recommending this?
Everything, apparently.
Apparently, it was a lot big.
Everything, apparently.
What have I done?
Well, you know what? You were being a very good friend, and you were trying to help me out, and boy howdy, has this spiraled horrifically out of control.
Alrighty. Would you like to begin?
So, the best way I can describe this game is it's hyper aggressive Fire Emblem. That is an apt description, and everything else is kind of visual novel at first. Kind of, if you have played the Persona series, the day-by-day schedule, you do things, you hang out with people, you raise your stats, you're in the right ballpark for what your downtime is, quote unquote. But no. The game got my attention when I entered an area and I was suddenly playing a visual novel in a completely different art style. Oh yes! Like full-on Bishonen fucking visual novel.
I just want to say,
the blue,
as soon as
in the middle of a war story.
As soon as you said that, two of the fucking wall sound dampening foam pad things fell off my wall. Very dramatic.
I want to say that was about midnight when I hit that point, and I just kept going because the game is supposed to be 100 days long, and I've got like 10 to go. What could possibly happen in 10 in-game days? And the answer is everything.
Everything.
I get a little bit of pride because I called the bad guy. I got the bad guy right. It's very much a Persona 5 pancakes kind of situation of, something's off about that. But no. I completed my first 100 days, and Mox can confirm, I have been telling him my entire journey through this game, it's not 100 days. There's no way it's 100 days.
I think now is a good time to say, spoiler alert for the game.
Yes. Spoiler alert for the game, it's not 100 days. In the game that markets itself about being 100 days. No. Your first playthrough is 100 days.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna put up a little text thing for this. Also,
Sure.
Ronzi has disappeared.
Bye, Ronzi.
Bye.
Where did my text input go? Here it is. Okay. I'm gonna make a new thing, and it is going to be called spoiler, and then I can just edit it if necessary. Okay, and it's going to say spoiler alert for the what was the game called again?
Just do Last Defense Academy.
The 100-line Last Defense Academy.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put this in a good spot. This will work down here. And now let me bring Ronzi back from the ether. Return to me, Ronzi. Okay. Okay, spoiler is up.
Yes. So your first playthrough is 100 days, and it takes the near automata route of congratulations, do it again. But things are different.
Love those.
Because alternate universes and time travel are in, baby.
Woo!
Nothing's been the same
Go back
since,
and do it again and take what you learned and try to do it better. The entire first run is just the tutorial. A 30 to 40 hour tutorial.
Yeah, nothing.
And I want you to understand something. You see, they really like that 100 number. Because there's 100 endings.
Fuck off.
And you're expected to find all of them.
Fuck off.
That's...
These 100 endings are sprinkled between 21 routes. I know this because upon completing my first one, I unlocked the gallery, which shows me a list, an itemized list of all the endings. Not what they are, not what they're called, it's just a numbered list.
Fucking hell.
Meaning, if I want to see what this game has to offer me, I am looking at hundreds of hours in this game. And guess fucking what? I'm invested because there is so much mystery and bullshit that is not explained so far.
Oh no.
This is the hell you have sent me down, sir.
Unfortunately, this isn't the first time I've done this to someone, and it won't be the last.
No, it isn't. It won't be.
In all fairness, how would I have known that this was going to be the I saw the Danganronpa thing, and I saw the high recommendation. You were describing it as aggressive Fire Emblem, and I thought, that sounds pretty cool. I'm glad you got something cool here. I can't wait to check it out myself. And now... Now I've sent you to war.
You've sent me to a war that doesn't end.
Damn. I sent you to the Flame Wars.
And I have so many theories and so many things, and some of them are right, and some of them are wrong, and I don't know what is which.
You have the floor, sir. You can share your thoughts on things.
There is a high possibility this is all just a dream.
That'd be disappointing.
They joked about it being the ending, but it's a genuine possibility. They do a fake out dream ending at one point. I don't really have a whole lot more to say because it's genuinely one of those things of, if you're gonna play it, you should experience the nonsense that is this game.
Gotcha.
And I am at the top of the iceberg meme right now. I hit the waterline.
Oh, fuck. So now you see how much deeper it goes, and it apparently goes 100
deeper.
the 100
There's
leagues deep.
100 endings, all of which potentially contain information to help you learn, as the game puts it in all red letters, the truth.
I love searching for the truth.
The truth.
Oh no. I'm sorry I put this curse on you.
Damn you, Ricky Bobby.
Damn you, Ricky Bobby, and your black magic. Oh.
But yeah, no, I would absolutely recommend the game.
Yeah, that's how we end.
The unfortunate truth is that the gameplay is a lot of fun, even if half the characters make me want to punch them in the face.
I have a thing I want to do later with you, Chalk. Thing we've talked about in the car. But is there anything else you would like to say on this game? You are welcome to speak about whatever.
No, I'm good. If you are at all interested, there is a free demo on Steam. It gives you a good idea of what the game is.
To make things clear, this game is only available on the Switch and Steam for some reason.
That is correct.
Hey, at least it's available on Steam. You know, unlike Unicorn Overlord, which
Yeah.
is only on console.
Fair point.
And a recommendation from me: if you do choose to check this out, use a controller. Do not use bizarre
The keyboard controls
keyboard
are fucked.
controls.
You've told me about this.
That they use WASD. You know, that's normal. That's normal. And IJKL. That's not unheard of. But it's space for confirm. And it makes you confirm every step of your turn. From I select the character, I select the move I'm using, I select where they're going, and I select the direction they are doing. And no, it doesn't make sense when you're doing it on the keys. It makes perfect sense when you hold a controller.
Man, you would think we would have controls down by this point.
Right?
You'd think that.
Alright, I'm gonna open the floor now. Ronzi, do you have anything that you want to talk about at this moment?
No.
Okay, I'll take the thing then. So I got a blast from the past yesterday. A blast from the past that I was very delighted to experience. Right? Who here has seen FLCL?
Yes.
Oh, hello, Moth Girl.
I've seen something that has had that tag. I don't think it's what you're meaning.
I'm talking about the show FLCL, Fooly Cooly.
Yeah, no. I remember in my youth on the internet finding a different version of Fooly Cooly.
I see. You found the Fooly Cooly. I'm doing a
believe so,
podcast.
yeah.
You can't bite me.
Bites.
Don't hide. My vision isn't based on motion. I can still see you. Wait, I'm a mod.
I wasted points.
Yeah? You shot me? You shooted me? Would you like a rock star, Mr. Gunman?
Lotus, I don't know how, but
Huh? Right
I
here.
ended up
It's a regular
with
one, though.
mod powers
Okay.
somehow. I don't know where they came from.
I saw there was a camera active, so that's why I ducked out.
Oh, yeah,
And I
because
realized
I'm
it's
VTubered.
Ronzi's.
No, I'm
No,
VTuber.
I saw Ronzi's and I was like, oh no, your camera's on.
Oh, yeah. I'm losing points. Fuck. I'm so sorry. Ow. Anyway. So,
I only can hide my face, it's fine.
the reason I'm bringing up FLCL is a group has been working on reanimating one episode of FLCL for the past 4.5 years. Okay? And as of 3 days ago from the release of this, they released it on YouTube and Newgrounds. And it is a hell of an endeavor. There's a lot of really talented people that worked on it. There's a lot of really good gags and things that they've done in it. And I can fully recommend it if you are interested in animation, if you are interested in anime and have never heard of FLCL, and especially if you have heard and watched FLCL, you should watch this. This is a passion project of the ages. And while I was watching it, I felt that nostalgia deep in my heart. And man, I fucking love that show, and I find it so difficult to watch just because it's one of those things that just puts me back in time, right? my experience with the show, I feel like everyone has one of these shows. Everyone has one of these experiences where you're toiling long into the night, and then you experience something that changes your life forever in those twilight hours, kind of thing. Like Chalk last night with this game.
I might need to buy some cork boards.
some more. For me, I literally woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, which was a regular thing for me way back in the day. I have major fucking insomnia, and I'm a very light sleeper, okay? So even in my youth, this would affect me. And so I woke up half dazed, and the first episode of FLCL aired that particular night. And I had no idea what the fuck I was watching. And it didn't help that with Adult Swim, what they were doing at the time, they had these weird fucking bizarro ads in between things, one of which was for a cell phone that was also really well animated for some reason, and I could not tell if it was still part of the episode or not. That's how fucking out there FLCL is.
Yeah.
And I remember getting through the episode and hearing the credit song and seeing the credit sequence, which if you've never heard the song Ride on Shooting Star... Oh, I should probably get rid of the spoiler alert for this.
Yeah, we are not spoiling anymore.
Yeah, not spoiling that anymore. And Ronzi's disappeared, Ronzi's back. You should really go check it out. The Pillows are a very fantastic band. It was so different than anything I'd ever seen, and so out there and wild. It fucking warped my perception of everything from that day forward. FLCL might very well be responsible for making me the weirdo I am now. And like, can I vote for both? Oh no. Wisp has been timed out for 2 seconds. And like, it's just, it's not something you can pin down with describing it, because it's so difficult to pin down, right? It's not just a show about a dude, or I guess a boy, like maturing and growing up. It's not just some space opera. It's not just robot fights. It's a little bit of everything all at once at the same time. Everything everywhere all at once, like that one show about the everything bagel. It's just punk rock put into a fucking anime, alright? That might be the best way to describe it. The characters are all wacky and are all relatively terrible people. Like, every fucking one of them, if I'm being honest. Haruhara Haruko is absolutely responsible for awakening a lot of people to things. Because she's just insane. She's just a crazy woman who runs people over with a fucking Italian scooter. And will hit you in the head with a goddamn electric guitar. So that she can pull a robot out of your head!
A gas-powered electric guitar.
A gas-powered electric guitar, you were correct, I can't forget that. Oh, did I also mention this also has a manga? A 2 fucking book manga! That's the whole series! 2 books!
What even is Fooly Cooly?
Fooly Cooly is everything and nothing, man. Fooly Cooly. That if you're trying to figure out what Fooly Cooly means, you are missing the point of the show.
You are.
Because Fooly Cooly is cool.
It's sounding like it's on the level of XL Saga.
It has that energy, actually.
It is a Gainax production.
It is a Gainax production. It was a Gainax production after Ava, where they were given free reins to do whatever the fuck they wanted because they had the Ava money. It's ridiculous. And this fan project is also just as ridiculous. So I mentioned they've been animating this for 4.5 years. They made their own commercial ad breaks in the style of the old Adult Swim ad breaks in the fucking thing. And they're hilarious and memey as shit. At one point they did the meme of the girl character Mamimi smoking a bong, and then the cat that she hangs out with comes in, and she freaks out, and then the cat walks out a door and goes down the stairs, and and she's just like, "Oh no, he's gonna tell my mom on me." But they also made 2 fucking whole real ass albums that you can listen to on Spotify called Musical Mechanica. And Volume 1 is a bunch of songs that were made to be inspired by FLCL, and Volume 2 is cover songs of the songs from FLCL. I say this with all the love of my heart. I don't think I could possibly survive an episode of this podcast. Yeah, probably not. I am very easily I'm very good at warping people and destroying things. Unless we talk about Blazeball, we could talk about Blazeball sometime, Moth Girl. We could. I'd be all for
We
it.
could talk about Blazeball.
That's
Anytime you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Baseball.
Baseball has a place in this, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I don't want to talk about the weirdly sensual way they explain swinging a bat. I want to talk about the fact that they made these 2 albums, and they made a fucking video game! That's on itch.io, based off of the mobile game that's in the game about burning down the fucking city. But you can't burn down all of the city because you'll have no place to live, and you have to be careful not to be caught by the police. That's the game. I played it. I played it for an hour last night and went, why the fuck did I play this for an hour? Does Mox is gay? Other. The answer is other. Snoo likes to proclaim that they made me gay by dating me. It's man. Do you ever miss those times though? Where you had those just moments, just in the evening, where you're just by yourself and experiencing something only for you. Like, I understand it's not this case, but I feel like FLCL was specifically made for me. And the fact that I saw it when I did and experienced it when I did was at a pivotal point in my life where the bits from the show about growing up made sense and felt personal.
I can't say that I've had a moment like that, unfortunately.
Shame.
No.
I'll have to change that. That's tragic. It's a surreal fucking experience. I never watched FLCL. Also, hi. What's up? Mox default to gay. Alright, I opened the floor again. That was my FLCL talk for the moment. Just go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's worth your time.
I did come across something recently,
Uh-huh.
which I think is interesting, and going to be up all of our alleys. So, apparently, a group have remade Castlevania 1
Yes.
as a Metroidvania.
Yes.
I found the video, someone was playing it. I think the video is a few years old at this point. I'm like, I kind of have to stop watching this now. I want to watch because, one, this looks cool. It looks like, it still looks and feels like Classicvania, but just in a Metroidvania style. It looks really good. I'm like, I want to play this. I don't want to spoil this for myself. And it's like,
Blah.
Wah.
Alright. Anything else you want to talk about on that?
Well, like, no, that's literally all I think. I think there's a Google link to get it.
Alright. I'm gonna expand upon
So-
that then. I'm gonna expand upon that.
Go on then.
Alright. Ronzi, I know from experience that you are a fan of Castlevania.
Yes.
Would you like to just talk about Castlevania?
Oh, well, geez, where to begin?
Exactly. Where you know how to do this? What's your favorite game of Castlevania?
My favorite game?
Yeah.
It would be Order of Ecclesia.
Good one. Good one. That's the one I've actually recommended Chalk to play.
It's a very good game.
I've never played a Castlevania game, so
And I kind of want you to play the RPG ones more than the traditional ones, because if I'm being honest, I don't really care for the traditional ones. Like, I love the Belmonts. I love them to death. But I don't like the way those games move, and I don't like necessarily the very... the way you jump and the way you move in those old ones is sort of designed to work against you. Because they've made this game with the idea of it taking you for fucking ever to be able to beat, simply for the difficulty sake of making you have to keep the rental longer. Since this was made back in the days when renting games was the shit.
yeah.
Yeah, so that is something that I've thought on a little bit, just on a game design level, rather than just on Castlevania. Because, I mean, if you look traditionally at those older games, they are harder than games that we have today.
Sorry, I just looked to my right. There's a poll going on. Who is tied for second Britishest? Me or Chalk? And we're tied.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of laughing. I saw that.
What? We both can be British. Sorry to interrupt. I just saw that.
No. That's
But
fine.
British
Like,
Miku won't talk to me.
like the games back in like the 80s, 90s were made hard by design, as you said, for rentals, but it's also just limitation on what they could do with the hardwares, really, right?
Uh-huh.
So they needed a way. The games needed to be hard. They needed to be easy to begin with to entice people into playing them, and then the difficulty would ramp up like really quickly for it to be a challenge to make you want to play more. It's a way of increasing the longevity of games. I mean, if you think about it, like in games today where you're buying a game, and what do you expect from a AAA game? You expect the gameplay to have like 40 hours worth of gameplay?
I would say yes. On average, that's what I would expect.
But I mean, if you go then back to the 80s or 90s, what we would consider a AAA game like Sonic, how much game time does that have?
Like 2 hours.
Yeah. It's like it has to be difficult by design so that it's forcing you to replay it over and over again.
For AAA, a 2 hours per dollar on average for me.
Yeah.
The poll has ended. Chalk and I are tied for British.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's fair. I mean, like, we're now entering into. I haven't looked at the specs. I don't really look at the specs of consoles, but I'm imagining that like frickin' the Switch 2 is catching up, and probably still falling short of the Series X and the PS5.
It definitely will be. There's no goddamn way that the Switch 2 is going to be even close to as powerful as modern consoles, which is really weird to say since it is the most modern at the time of speaking.
Yeah, but then I mean, Nintendo have shied away from trying to keep up with that kind of race, and now tries more to push innovation. Like their motion control game has been getting better and better, and that's what they've been pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Which rightly so is like they just don't really have the market share to go into the performance side of things. They should. They really should start looking into that.
My experience with that very thing is Persona 5, not Persona 5, Shin Megami Tensei 5 released as a Switch exclusive at the time when it came out, and that game ran like dog shit. I picked that up because I'm a big fan of SMT, right? I could not bring myself to get past the beginning hours of the game because it ran so poorly.
It was like bad. Yeah.
So when it got re-released for modern things, I picked it up on the PlayStation. I've been having a blast on that.
Yep. I mean, you can see in the I know we are completely deviating away from the topic that we started from, but either way.
Oh, this was your
you can see
floor, so do whatever.
Yeah. You can see in the performance of Pokemon A to Z is a hell of a lot better than it was for Scarlet and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, the system has definitely got that graphical boosts and the power that it needed.
Needs more
torque.
torque.
Might be a little too late.
It needs more torque.
Yeah. Needs more torque. Well, we're exploding things now.
Who has the
Who's the
crunchiest?
crunchiest? What?
Crunchiest voice? Ronzi has the crunchiest voice? Apparently my voice is not
why
crunchy.
Is my
Crunchy.
Crunch.
crunch?
I'm sorry, Ronzi. Apparently you have been described as crunchy.
I will growl to make it crunch.
Oh, that's apples, mate. Oh, that's apples.
So yeah, I mean, to the point is that the AAA standard now is whatever Nintendo's putting out, because they are as you said, they're the newest console in essence, even if they're not the most powerful. And at the price points they're putting out, your $2 per dollar is going up. Thank you, inflation.
Oh, great. Another funny poll. Anywho, I don't know how I feel about AAA gaming. The more time has gone on, the less I've given a shit about AAA gaming. I especially give no shits for quadruple A gaming. That shit needs to stop.
Yeah.
Quadruple A? I have not even heard of that.
It's because only Ubisoft has decided to call a game quadruple A so far.
It's
Oh,
nonsense.
okay. Well, yeah, we can just ignore. We can ignore anything
Exactly.
Ubisoft says.
It's nonsense.
I mean, yeah. With like the AAA gaming studios have had too much leeway, and just have gotten away with too much shit, and are basically just resting on their laurels because they're like, oh, we have these big franchises that sell, so that instantly just makes them AAA games. We don't have to put any effort in. Cough, cough. Game Freak.
Yeah, Game Freak. We have been seeing that doesn't actually translate as well, because as soon as you release that one massive flop and then you try to keep going with it, people notice and people don't follow it. I'm actually kind of wondering if the next Borderlands is going to be the last Borderlands.
It does not look promising in the slightest.
Well, I mean, they like the people that made the third one weren't even the same writers that made the second, right?
Game Freak is not as bad as other companies.
I think there were a couple holdovers, but I do think there was a lot of new blood for the third game.
Yeah.
Apparently, Chalk and I are most likely to murder the other two in the Hunger Games. Meaning, Ronzi, we're both gonna kill you. I'm sorry. The chat has spoken.
Shit.
And then it comes down to Chalk and I dueling again. Why is it always that case? Why do we always have to do this? Why can't we be friends?
It's fine. I'll just.
Why
fumble like
can't
usual.
we be friends? Why can't we be
Thank you for the polls,
friends?
Lotus. Activision is the greatest sinner of the low quality slap. Oh yeah. No.
That's right. EA.
Yeah, EA.
That is EA.
And when they do have something nice, they fucking put a bullet in the back of its head if it doesn't quite give them everything. They straight up kill Guitar Hero.
Speaking of, have you seen that there's apparently...
What are you talking about? We have Fortnite. Fortnite's the new Guitar Hero. I see Ronzi making a face.
No Fortnite. No, have you
Yes,
seen
Fortnite.
Fortnite's a better payday than Payday.
Fortnite is a better payday than Payday.
We just fuck. We just fucking play the Roblox Payday. Fuck it.
You don't understand, Ronzi.
Roblox is a better payday than Payday.
Roblox is a better payday than Payday. No, Clone Hero is the new Guitar Hero.
Fucking, what was it? I think it's not on the list anymore. They frickin' got new frickin' Command and Conquer
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hear how enthusiastic we are.
I know,
It's
it
so
looks
good.
shit. So yeah.
You know, if we're going to talk about schlop and abuse to franchises, probably one of my favorite companies that makes games, being Capcom, has abused one of my absolute favorite franchises from that. And that's Mega Man. Oh man. Have they done Mega Man dirty?
Is there a new development?
Not so much a new development as I think this is where Mega Man is now. I was browsing through some of the sales that are out there, and Capcom, because of Golden Week, has released a bunch of sale things for some of their old games, including their Mega Man Collection series, which I picked up for dirt cheap because, you know, it is what it is. I love Mega Man. Mega Man was the first franchise I think I ever got stupid invested into it. You have mixed feelings on Capcom, that's fine. I was explaining this to Jean because this is a silly childhood brain thing. So you know how with your vision you can see through your peripherals the shape and outline of your nose, but it's kind of invisible if you just kind of pay attention. Usually it's just not there because you're just so used to it, but if you look at it, it's there. My childhood brain would see the outlines of my nose through my vision, and because it makes this sort of helmet-like shape in the vision, I would use that to pretend I was wearing the Mega Man helmet, and then I'd go and grab a paper tube for a thing of paper towels or something, and then pretend I had a Mega Buster, and then just go and harass my parents with it. Which is really just me running around with a tube on my arm, smacking people in the head, saying I was shooting them. Mega Man was one of those big flagship franchises. It was their mascot character. It was one of their heavier hitters with the arcade scene, and then it just kind of died off because the Mega Man games were essentially the same, over and over and over and over again. They changed it up a little bit with X by giving things more active, but then they went back to the old franchise roots, and it just didn't land like it did. And they tried to find a new identity years on by making the Battle Network system, which was a completely different way of doing Mega Man. It's, a sort of grid-based card game is essentially what you're doing with those. And you couldn't be further from the Jump and Shoot Man games than that, right?
Yeah.
And then it just died. And then it came back momentarily in two very bad ways around the same time. We got Mighty Number 9, which flopped and was awful.
You mean frickin' Credit Simulator?
Yeah. And we got, on official terms, bad box art Mega Man.
Yeah.
Do you know about bad box art Mega Man, Ronzi? Because your face says no.
No, I don't.
Okay, so the old box art covers for Mega Man was this dude in weird armor with misaligned details on his helmet, and instead of a Mega Buster, he just had a pistol. And that's how the box arts of Mega Man were. He was weirdly fat as well within it.
Was it hyper realistic?
Yeah.
It was also it looked more like it was a
It was
human in
a
a suit.
photo.
Like a human dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's bad box art Mega Man. That is a real character now. And he was first put into a thing in goddamn Tekken versus Street Fighter. And he was part of the Street Fighter guest character roster because that's the same one where Pac-Man is fucking piloting Mokujin from Tekken for some reason. You know, he's got levers and things for controlling him. And Pac-Man is hunting Mega Man down in that game, by the way. Like, he's running from him, screaming for his life, while Pac-Man's just terrorizing this poor man. Oh, we got a hydrate notification. I should probably disable those for the future.
Hydrate.
Hydrate.
Oh no, I'm fine to hydrate.
You would think it was the final nail in the coffin for it, but the series sort of persists in weird ways where Mega Man's like a ghost in showing up in things. He's in the Project Cross Zone games. He's in the Versus series. With the last one that was out there, he was Mega Man X in that one, and Zero was still in there. Don't know why they don't want to put more Mega Man stuff, but Zero, big yay, Zero.
Yeah, he's kind of relegated to mascot character status now, right?
Like Mega Man is there in Dead Rising, but only in reference of the Servbots and his Mega Buster. Which they give the Mega Buster to Frank West in the game that has Mega Man also in it, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Goddamn Mega Buster for Frank West.
Well, yeah, because in essence, for a lot of for a couple of generations of gamers at this point, the introduction to the Mega Buster is Frank West. It kind of became iconic with that for the newer generations of gamers.
How Sega treats
because Mega Man just didn't.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Just looked at chat.
No, that's fair. I mean, true, but also in the same vein, it's like Sonic has become kind of a mascot in of itself. I mean, if you look at the Mario versus Sonic Olympic games and shit like that.
I think
right?
Yakuza, honestly. Yakuza, I think, is a bigger franchise than Sonic is now. The only thing that has really been coming out from Sonic is they had a pretty decent game with Sonic Frontiers, and they have the movies that people go gaga for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not to diss my friends who are absolutely Sonic obsessed, mostly Shadow obsessed, as I understand it. I don't really care for those movies, but I'll be more than happy to watch it with them.
Yeah, I enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fine. Jim Carrey carries the fuck out of those things.
Oh, pretty
Jim Carrey
much.
carries the fuck out of them.
Very much so. I mean, I'm interested to see what Keanu Reeves brings to it.
He's a pretty okay Shadow.
Yeah.
I'm just happy they don't suck.
I think there could be better Shadows, but he does a fine job.
He does a fine job because he's got the voice and the sort of attitude. Plus, to be Shadow, you just need to whisper into your mic.
Which is like 90% of what Keanu Reeves does.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've lied to you. I'm not Mox, I'm actually Shadow the Hedgehog.
No, it's me. I'm Shadow the Hedgehog.
I found you, faker. We should go into the hunger.
You're the faker. You killed Maria.
I actually killed Karanzi.
Maria! Why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?
Oh, sorry, wrong IP.
Dumb. I don't want to have comic book things I want to talk about right now. That'll be a future thing, and I've got things to say on that. But that can be a future topic. So I have a thing that I want to talk specifically from. I want to hear specifically from Chalk, because there's a thing about Chalk that's not clearly obvious when you meet him and hang out with him for a while. Chalk is a very avid gacha game player. And Chalk is,
unfortunately,
well invested in the madness that is gacha game lore and gacha game experiences. And I just gotta say,
hang on a minute.
hearing Chalk talk about these things is very entertaining. So Chalk, I gotta know, what's your most recent fun development or insane development in a gacha game that you would like to share? Because the last time you told me anything about gacha stuff, you were telling me about the secret police people and the network propaganda television and the fingerprint system that tells you everything about an individual down to the finer details if you hold a little PDA thing.
So Nikkei gets a little wild sometimes. It is absolutely cyberpunk dystopian future.
The face on Ronzi.
I'm also just worried. If I want to look at Chalk, I've got to look that way, which is not right because technically he's that way.
Reverse, but yeah. The unfortunate truth is I don't have a lot to share at the moment because I haven't been playing a whole. Because I've been a little bit absorbed by a different game.
Another game's madness is consuming you.
Yes, I don't know why suddenly I am cutting in and out. It's on my end too. Like you guys are cutting out for me, so it's clearly me.
Weird.
You might be peeking.
I unfortunately do not have much to talk about right now in terms of gacha game sense.
Gotcha. That's what we should call it.
We're in
Gotcha,
kind of
gotcha.
a lull between. Gotcha. We're in a lull for most games at the moment for new content and new such and such. So.
Okay. Well, since this is a first-timey thing, we're in between things. Is there a gotcha story of madness you would like to share, or that you could share?
When it comes to mind, I will prepare some things for this segment to talk about.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. Then gotcha. We'll have to wait.
It will have to wait so I can prepare for it.
Anything else you wanted to talk about then, since that segue didn't quite work? That segue crashed and burned. We're having a cookout over the remains of that segue. Bring BYOW. Bring your own wieners.
I am cutting in and out. I might leave and then reconnect here. Hang on.
All right, fair enough.
Time for a move-in.
Wow, our friend Chalk has returned.
Wow. Okay. Let's see if this is a bit more stable because I was getting like every fourth word.
Getting close to that again.
There's no apparently.
Oh no. Bad things are happening.
Continue without me. I'm gonna troubleshoot in the background.
Okay. You know what we could do? We could take a quick break. If we're okay with that.
Yeah. We can get.
Take a quick break. Alrighty. Let me just go over to the BRB. Alright. Break time, muting everything. Lol. The music is having problems now. Yay! Technical difficulties. Let's go back over here and unmute. I'm back.
Need to go and get thingamathing.
Thingamathing? What's a thingamathing?
Welcome back. The bottle map.
Bottle map?
Bottle map.
Bottle.
Bottle map. Have you stabilized there, Chalk?
Yes, Steam was eating all of my CPU for some reason.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I killed Steam, and now we are fine again.
Sometimes you just have to kill Steam.
Sometimes you do.
True that. True that.
Alright, Ronzi, do you want to go get your thingy thing?
Thingy thing?
Yeah, didn't you need to get a thingy thing?
Yeah, I'm getting my thingy thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm getting time-worn gazelle
Fantasy.
skin map.
Oh, you're playing Final Fantasy! I didn't understand what you were talking about before, and now I understand.
It's a map on some skin in a bottle.
Yes.
It's not to get.
That is what a map is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know that I mentioned that I had gotten into the rabbit hole of FNAF.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's its own thing. That's the lore behind that is real interesting. I'm super interested in it. I would like to do something because it's not traditionally the game that I like. I'm a scaredy cat. Oh, I'm not afraid to admit it.
That's fine.
I'm high strung. I will get highly concentrating into things, making myself more jump scareable. I'm sure Gray would absolutely love this.
I get primed for the fear.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest jump scares I've had on the channel from playing like what was it, Callisto Protocol? I just ended up giggling from it afterwards. Halfways, it's like I'm just too scared. I just can't not giggle here. Fine. Either way, I'm going to play those games. There's probably going to be some sort of monetary incentive to play them though, because
they're hazardous to your health. You want some hazard pay?
Yeah, pretty much. There's other hazardous things to my health that I'm thinking of doing. But you know, that's something completely different. We can get onto that at a later point. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make, I think I mentioned it before, because obviously, I have polluted most of our recommended single-handedly on Steam.
I think I see where you're going with this.
Well, no, this comes up. So obviously, I own a number of off-brand games, shall we say?
I don't know why you're censoring yourself.
Fair point. I own a ton of porn games. There we go. I've said it. Okay, it's out there.
Mazel tov.
Just throw it onto the fire.
Yes. On the Segway, that's on fire as well.
True. So, I didn't realize. I think I kind of did. There are a number of obviously porn parodies for the FNAF games.
Oh yes, I am aware of like 3.
There's more than 3, and apparently I own most of them.
Wild.
Haven't played them yet. Might make the series or something, so I could at least got either I can either censor it and put it onto YouTube, or just, you know, I've got stuff in the wings for when, if I eventually make it to 1,000 followers, I am forced to either make a Fansly or OnlyFans or something and put them up on there.
So, funny enough, I'm familiar with one of the more popular ones because people won't shut up about it, and the models of those particular FNAF girls are fucking everywhere.
Is that in Heat?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the fun thing about that one is apparently it has a safer word version of itself in the settings.
Oh, interesting. I might have to give that a try then. But I was actually going to talk about that one.
As I understand, that's like the
Because-
best one of them.
Yes, that one looks real good. So that is very much in line with the. It's got very much a graphical look of the Security Breach and the Help Wanted games. It's like it really like fluidly. It looks amazing. But they recently had an update. And I believe I'm seeing if it's. I think seeing if that update is not in my what's new now.
Yes.
I'm just gonna
Look up-
do that just to make sure.
Go and gather the information.
We like to be accurate about our porn games
We
here.
want to be accurate about our FNAF
Yep.
lore.
Yes.
We went in two
so-
different directions with that.
The new update, they are on, from looks of things, version 0.3.
It's not even a full release?
No, it's not. It's still early access.
My god, how old is that? It's like, what, a year old or something at this point? Don't tell me it's more. Don't fucking tell me it's more.
No,
They
it's not.
never-
Even, it's not a year old yet. It's the 22nd of June, 2024.
Okay, so it's not even... Okay, cool. It's just... It's Babby game still. But not for Babby.
Not for Babby, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the title of this one is the Better Than Sex update. They've added a gallery, but more importantly, they've turned it into a dating sim.
You know, that's an interesting approach to that, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you can bait the animatronics that are scaring the living shit out of you.
As Snoo likes to remind me, horror and romance are very closely tied to each other in the brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that, I mean, if we're going into the whole psychological aspect and side of things like that, then just, yes.
I sure do love my psychological horror. Give me the dating sim.
But yeah, apparently there is now a dating sim aspect to that game.
You know what? This is a great segue into a thing that I was going to talk about later, but I should get it out of the way now. Ronzi, you son of a bitch, you motherfucker.
What have I done now?
D dinosaur with double D's. You motherfucker. So I want to talk about Waifu Month. And there were only 2 games in the entirety of Waifu Month that actually were highlights to me. One of them because I enjoyed it, and the other one for the experience. The one I enjoyed was MonsterCon. That was a great time. That was a good time. I love that.
That was
Yeah,
fantastic.
I wish I could have participated. It looked
Psych-
like fun.
Psych horror and dating sims, quite a popular cover. Absolutely. Me-Side actually for a little bit as well, but I wouldn't say it was as big of a highlight as the other ones. Me-Side was cool. Me-Side was really cool, but MonsterCon, D Dinosaur, and then I guess Me-Side. How much did you know about that game before I started it?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was in the exact same boat you were.
Got it. So it was just as much a surprise.
So I watched the trailer for it.
Yep.
And I did see it because obviously you were completely caught off guard by the soccer.
I was completely caught off guard by the soccer. After rewatching the trailer, it's in there. I just didn't realize.
It's in there. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I know what's coming. I don't think Mox knows what's coming. This is gonna be fun.
That game was something. That game was fucking something. I almost spoiled the game for myself because after I got it in my recommendations, or not my recommendations, got it into my library, and I was getting ready for preparing for Waifu Month, which I'll talk about what the fuck that is if you don't know, because I'm just pretending like this is, we're explaining everything we're doing. I got a video recommendation on my YouTube of Nyanners, and they play D Dinosaur with double Ds. And oh man, I did in fact start that video, and then I stopped myself because I went, no, let's leave this a surprise. Let's keep myself out of the loop on this one. I don't know if that was the best decision or not. Why the cat? Why the cat? Why the cat? Ronzi, why the cat?
I'm just nodding my head along because I did not watch any of those streams, unfortunately. So I'm just kind of like, the cat, huh?
Okay, let me explain. I'll get this out of the way and then I'll talk. Okay. Waifu Month is a thing I do every April. It is a celebration of the self-indulgence, and just being you, expressing your enjoyment over anything. Just do it unabashedly, unapologetically. So I try to go out there and find these games that are oddball, bizarre, fun, ecchi, all of that. Just as much as I can play, as much as the craziness. Even if it's something as oddball and bizarre as something like D Dinosaur, or Hatoful Boyfriend, or Dating Colonel Sanders, or any of those. It's all in good fun because it's all about the experience of it, and it's just being open. Right? That being said, it leads me to some strange places like D Dinosaur with double Ds. What is this game? It is a game where you play as a dinosaur with double D breasts who is trying to hide the fact that they are a dinosaur, but they're also suffering from depression and they're going to therapy for it. And you play all of that with your therapist with his big bulge and his one patient and his big bulge and rippling muscles on everyone. And then at night, you go and hang out at your house, where the game makes a point to talk about how naked and vulnerable you are all the time. And then you hang out with your giant muscular cat, Mr. Robson. Who is just a cat.
Basically, it is just a cat, but think the stylistic take that MonsterCon 3 took for Yuan the Magical Cat.
Yuan the Magical Latino Cat. He's just a giant muscular figure with the head of a cat. And this cat's backstory is...
I was not prepared for that backstory. I did not know that existed.
This cat's backstory is too real for this nonsense game. It's this fucking nonsense game where it's just like, oh man, how am I going to tell my therapist that I have the hots for him, but also hide the fact that I am a dinosaur from the Triassic era, and scientists are still in debate of whether or not I had feathers. Oh no! It sure would be terrible if I had to go through character creation and decide the sound my fucking vagina makes. That's a real thing I had to do! That happens! And then all of a sudden...
Give them a horn.
I didn't choose the horn. There was a funnier one. It was like the voices of the damned. Also, hi. But yeah, that was I should have chosen the voices of the damned. I really should have. That would have been way funnier. But anywho... So in between all of this nonsense, and you're hanging out with your cat, you think of the backstory of how you found the cat. This cat, you have saved this cat as a kitten while it was suffocating in a fucking dumpster in a fucking sack, right?
Uh-huh.
Why was it in a sack, you might be wondering? Because its owners were terrible people. I need to get up a spoiler tag real fucking quick because I cannot talk about this unspoilered. I can't wait for spoiler alert for D Dinosaur with double D's!
Many D's, that boy.
Many fucking D's. Okay. What does a vagina sound like? Play D Dinosaur with double D's. You get to just customize it yourself. choosier vagina sound. We can make that happen. Anywho. So spoiler alert up, you have been warned. This cat was picked up by content creators who were using it. They were not feeding it well. They were not taking care of it well. And they were taking photos of it with those very, very hot lights. With him all dressed up in fucking things, adorable poses. And at one point, he was in a cowboy outfit, riding a fucking little toy horse thing. And he passed out due to hunger and knocked over one of the lights on top of himself and burned himself. And so with that mark and destroyed part of his fur from it, they picked him up and put him in their car where he's thinking to himself that his owners really care about him because they're taking him to a vet to take care of him. And what they actually did is they put him in a fucking burlap sack and then recorded themselves throwing him into a river so they could pretend they found him and saved him for fucking clout. And they did that until he was too worse for wear to take care of him. Then they threw him in the fucking trash to die. And then you save him. And you take him in, and you give him love and care, and he is the only good part of your life. And then one day you come home from therapy, this nonsense active therapy. I'm pretty sure this is after the act where your therapist shoves his arm shoulder deep down your fucking throat, and you try not to gag while doing a minigame where you're moving his hand to avoid shit in your throat. I don't even know how to explain what the fuck this was. So that happens, and you come home, and he's lying on your bed. His eyes are closed, and he's not breathing, and his heart's not beating, and Mr. Robson has passed away, and underneath his body is a love letter proclaiming that if he has passed on, that he's sorry for the loss and pain he has inflicted on you, and that he will always love and cherish the time that he had with you, and that he wishes nothing but the best for you because you treated him so well. And then he leaves you $20 for the dry cleaning in case he shit himself because he died. I couldn't fucking believe this was in the same fucking game! It had no right to do this! Like, I was legitimately invested in this cat more than anything else in this fucking game. And they killed him, and they made it emotionally... It was well done! And then... at the end of everything, your therapist turns out to have known you were a dinosaur all along and was doing all of these exercises to gather data and DNA to prove you were a dinosaur. And his patient that you have been trying to date was your cat's abusive owner. And then the door gets kicked in, and there's Mr. Robson, muscly and everything, and he fucking roundhouse kicks your therapist in the face, and you and that cat have crazy censored dinosaur sex on the therapist's desk and everything, and that's the credits.
Well, to summarize all of this, I have set the bar too high for next year.
I have something in mind for next year. I have my own
game
things.
Developers, go absolutely apeshit in the next year so we have something.
It's
so I have
not
something
even
to
a
bring.
not safe for work game. It's the wildest thing. It's not.
No, this is not a not safe for work game. I wouldn't. if I find a game that I'm going to recommend to Mox for Waifu Month, I make sure that it is streamable on Twitch. This has a category on Twitch.
Oh, it's such fucking nonsense, man. Oh my god. This fucking dinosaur game. I play the other. Gotta keep in mind, amongst all of this, I was playing a Monster Hunter-like game called God Eater with Ronzi on the day before I was doing these things. And then the day after was nonsense. I think the day after the first one we did, I played only cans with Trinky and Snoo. and,
Yep.
and you were there too, and it was nonsense.
the fucking rant about ketchup.
The rant
Oh,
about
the
ketchup,
rant.
the mustard and ketchup discourse, which is way too heated. I'm not
Give
going to
me my
explain.
blue ketchup.
Give me my blue ketchup. I am not going to get into that. If you want to know about that, you're gonna have to dig through the clips. That is not. This is not the time or place for this kind of thing. It could be, but nah. Fuck you.
The week after was all bust, I believe, because
Oh, yeah.
birthday, right?
Birthday. Why, God? Why? Why did you
Why?
have? Why did you give me the gift of cognitive awareness? Why did you make me think? I thinked a thought, and now I have waifu.
Oh yeah, there was the fucking like
There's a 3D dancing
video
minigame. Yes, yes, there is. Man, I missed just. Yes, you fucking did. Oh.
There were so many mini games. It was crazy.
And to celebrate the defeat of D Dinosaur with double D's, I played fucking Dino Crisis and dressed up Regina, the protagonist of that game, in a caveman outfit because that was available, and it changed all of my guns into bones. And those guns could get upgraded, and they changed the upgrades to caveman things. I had a pistol that I wrapped like leopard skin on and stuck a frog on the end of it for a scope, and that was a fully upgraded pistol. Commitment to this shit. The commitment. I love that.
Hey, I only bring the best experiences to to this.
There was
I got D Dinosaurs with double D's. I brought Kendo's car.
Yeah. There was a game I wanted to play in Waifu Month. I just couldn't figure out a time to slot it into it, and that was a recommendation I actually got from Chalk.
Which I do not recommend these kind of games ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that demo one, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's called, I believe, BE Witches,
Correct.
and that is a sort of match 3 game, but not all entirely. I did do a little testing just because I was curious about it, and I never did a match 3 in the entirety of my bit. I was mostly running around and doing, like, puzzles and dungeon solving. I got stuck in the ocean for a bit. And I was solving more puzzles and stuff, so I never quite got to experience things. And I was excited to eventually play this on the stream, and then I just never got around to doing it. And today is the last day, and I'm not doing it now.
No.
No, I'm doing this. I'm doing this instead. I'm going mad in front of everyone, so everyone can get a ha-ha at me going, "Arr!" That's what we do. That's what we do around here, don't we know? We farm reactions, engagement. The algorithm requires engagement. I was doing robot motions while I was doing this, but it doesn't have hand tracking yet, so you couldn't see me doing it.
So on the note of you cannot be scared to take a few steps back.
Okay.
So Gray wanted me to try, and I told them flat out it wasn't gonna happen, right?
Right.
But I said I might be able to freak him out. And I ultimately chose not to do this because I felt like it might get too real.
Uh-huh.
This was so time frame wise, This was when you had just calmed down from Alan Wake 2.
Ah. You know,
Um,
I still haven't calmed down from that.
But you know what I mean. You're not ranting at like 1 a.m. to me in the living room
It's true.
anymore.
For now.
I was gonna start sending you things from Coffee World.
Fuck off.
Fake mail, and then at some point, I was going to steal all your coffee and replace it with a single can that I would have made a custom label from Coffee World on it and left that just in the cupboard by itself.
You know, you probably would have gotten me to the point I would have started running around the neighborhood with a flashlight.
There is a reason that I was like, this is too real. This might work too well. I shouldn't do this.
Mox gets obsessive. Again, we're treating this like it's no one knows anything about us. So, Mox gets a
Yes.
little obsessive about things. If you
A
didn't
little
hear
bit.
if you didn't hear my passionate ranting about D Dinosaur with double D's, which I guess I can remove the spoiler for, and I removed Ronzi from existence while doing so. And if I do it with a flick of my wrist and a twist of my dick, he appears.
But don't twist your dick.
Twist it! Fucking twist it! Bop it. Pass it.
No! Fuck it.
No, that's a different game. Anywho, Mox gets a little passionate about things, and Mox gets a little obsessive about things, and Mox has a very bizarre life where oddities happen to him on the regular, and sometimes he speaks in third person, and realizes the madness he's driveling on about does not make him sound sane enough to be living on his own without monitored people and medications. But I wouldn't worry about that. Mox is a trustworthy boy. Mox is the solution that I trust. Now you can too. 20 payments, $9.99. Send it in the mail. Burn your house down. Anywho,
I shouldn't have brought it up.
you should. I'm going to talk about the dog story and never talk about the dog story again. So there's a book I got into a long time ago. It's a really good book. I'd recommend it. It's called House of Leaves. You have no idea, Ronzi, how many times I have dissuaded myself from sending you a copy of this book.
Saying it. What?
You have no idea how much I have been dissuading myself from sending you a copy of this book.
Do it.
No.
I will personally stop him.
Exactly. No. No. This book is like the granddaddy of ARGs. This book is not being told to anybody because it's an ad break. It's great. Anywho, this book is full of secrets, and it has 4 different writing perspectives, from a dead man to the live author to a third party and an editor. And the editor is constantly referencing things and making annotations for you to flip into the back of the book that they have set things up for, and then you see the codes and you learn about the secrets and the secret writings and the secret methods, and the fact that maybe one of these authors isn't so reliable, and they might be lying about certain things throughout this. And I got consumed by this book and experienced probably one of the most horrific scares of my life from this book. And remember, I don't get scared. This was bad. That thought poison was so bad that I was talking about this and raving about this book at work, at home, about everything for a while. Until finally, everyone was hanging out for, I think, D&D, and I was going off about my things. And I was using video evidence that I had uncovered. And this was back, I don't know.
We were at our very first apartment still.
So, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, maybe?
That sounds...
It was around 2020.
No, I think it's further back than that.
Oh, really?
No, you're right. 2020-ish.
2020-ish, right? And so I was definitely pre-pandemic. I know that much.
Yes.
I was using my PlayStation for this video evidence. Did you know there was an Easter egg on the PlayStation specifically? If you're watching a long video, mind you, this is gone now.
You can't prove this existed.
Exactly. But if you rewound a long video on a PS4 on YouTube, a tiny dog would run across your loading bar. That's all you do. He would just run across it. So I want you to imagine, I have at like an hour of sleep average for a month. Goddamn cracked out of my mind due to this obsession. And I am like a lunatic unraveling in front of my friends. And I start to rewind this video, and this little dog runs across the screen. And for that moment, I couldn't prove if I was the only one seeing this dog or not. And all of a sudden, all of my trusted friends start erupting into laughter. Because they can see my world crumbling before them.
As he's just staring at this tiny little dog running across the like play bar of YouTube, and he's just dying watching it run across the screen. You watched a whole man's world crumple to dust in that moment. I will confirm, though, the dog was real.
Oh, yeah.
We all saw it.
Yep. And that dog still haunts me to this day. A long time ago, when we were hanging out with Ronzi for one of the earlier days, with Trinky and them, and we were playing Minecraft. We were playing with a fun mod called Botania. I opened up the book for Botania, and over in the back section of Botania's book is a special section, I don't remember what it's called. And I wanted to go and check it out because, you know, I wasn't familiar with this section of Botania, and as soon as I selected it, the Toby dog from Undertale, representing Toby Fox, ran across my screen and stole the option from the fucking book. I caught it on camera, thankfully, so I have a clip for it. But man, you know, you ever play Fallout New Vegas and the fucking wacky wasteland thing appears in the corner? That's me sometimes. Alright, madness aside, I'm gonna talk about more gacha.
Alright.
Ronzi,
Yes.
have you ever heard of Zenless Zone Zero?
Yes, you have mentioned it. I have also seen animations.
I hope these are
Official.
official.
Oh no.
I see. That's not a surprise.
No, it's not.
Oh man, this man is online. Me? I'm really not. You have no idea. I am a creature. Well, let's just say that. ZZZ.
Let's just say you're a cryptid.
I probably am. I have been described as an anomaly by a lot of people, including Snoo.
I have never seen a man break a game like this one, where I can set a fresh built PC with nothing on it and just New Vegas and put it in front of him and watch as it immediately dies, crashes, and breaks.
Yeah, I bricked the computer.
There is nothing like that. That is the moment I just accepted. Nope, yeah, this is just you.
Anywho, so.
Built different.
Yeah,
Kick
so-
it, nerd.
So back to the ZZZ. It's one of the few like gacha games I actually play. Like I play a little bit of Honkai here and there, but it's really spread out. I played Honkai Star Rail a little bit this month, but for my own sake and because of their birthday anniversary thing they were doing.
Free shit.
But other than that, I hadn't picked up the game since I got sponsored by them. ZZZ's different. ZZZ is the only real gacha game that I keep going back to because it's genuinely a good time. Genuinely a great time, and it's a Devil May Cry game at the end of the day. It's a character action game, so even if you don't go through the process of doing the heavy leveling, if you're just good at the game, you can do anything. And I've proven this by taking on the major boss before updates, way under leveled than I was supposed to, and winning. It is not as exciting as it used to be anymore. That thing is more publicly available, but at the time I did it.
No, the animation watcher.
Ah, I see.
Oh yeah, I get around.
There is. I can't do those mobile games anymore. Not since Brave Frontier. That one sounds familiar. What is Brave Frontier?
Which one was
That's not the Final Fantasy one, is it?
My brain said Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I used to play Brave Frontier. It's not Final Fantasy, but I could see why you would be.
That's Brave Exodus, same company. Oh, so it is a Square thing. Gotcha.
Well, no, it's not made by Square.
Oh,
It's developed by A-Lim.
gotcha. And I play ZZZ actually on my PlayStation, and I've been trying to install it on my computer. There's nothing gone wrong with it. I just haven't hit the install button. That's it. I just haven't done it. I had it prepped, ready to go. Just haven't done it. Anywho. No, Gumi. Aiden. I love ZZZ. I love ZZZ and the experience with it. I am not exactly experiencing ZZZ as I should be.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. So I took a little break from ZZZ just because I wanted to focus on other things. And I fell off from the story. There's a lot more story. I have been sitting on the 4th of like 8 chapters for a while. And that's even while I was playing it because I was doing all the side content with it for the rewards for all the side content. Which meant I wasn't progressing the story. Which means I had to get permission from the game to do a bunch of things because it was spoilers. And it was like, this may impact your enjoyment of the story by seeing this stuff early. And I said, fuck it. I want the funny rewards. So I got to experience characters and settings and areas that I wasn't supposed to see yet. And I'll have you know, I only just beat Chapter 4 and I'm still doing it. But if I'm being honest, give me money, true gamer. Lol. The main thing that I have absolutely have to take away with it is there is a character from ZZZ who has gotten my attention. And I regretted not being able to pick them up when they were available. And now they are back, and I am doing everything. I am almost to the point of debating on destroying my life to get them. I'm not going to. That'd be stupid. That'd be irresponsible of me. And I've locked my credit card away to prevent such a thing. That's a joke. I don't have a credit card. Their name is Jane Doe. If you don't know who Jane Doe is, Ronzi, I'm sure you know who Jane Doe is.
Yep.
They are a rat girl with a sort of like, I don't know, knife tail, if you would describe it as that.
More so she holds a knife with her tail.
No, her tail absolutely is like bladed. Like the end of her tail is like Scorpion's harpoon. She also does use these funny knives for most of her things. And she has knives in her boots, as I have found out from watching her fight. She's incredible. Her combat is very fast-paced. It's hyper-aggressive. And she has this hyper gauge that she fills up whenever you are dodging attacks actively. That increases her damage output and makes her attack faster. Which makes her only more aggressive. Which feeds into the machine of violence. And I love it. She's also an incredibly sad character, and I think I adore that part of her even more. Because her job is that she is a secret agent working for the police, infiltrating gangs and criminal organizations with different aliases, and then bringing them to justice, and then going and doing it again. So her name is Jane Doe, unofficially. That's her alias. She doesn't really have a real name anymore. She doesn't have a real personality or identity anymore, because it's every character and every role is just another character. Every bit of this is Hypergage, exactly. And
sidetrack very quickly. That reminds me of very much of a show Shin would tell me about while we were working, Dollhouse.
I'm sure there's a similar character with a similar thing. Dollhouse makes sense for that kind of character. But because of this existence that she has, she doesn't get to live a life. You know her as Jane Doe. That is not the only role. That's not the only person she is. And in fact, while hanging out with her for things, she's other people at other times, and she uses those aliases and brings you into her act for cover and things like that. At one point, while I was doing a flower minigame thing, I had to go and help her break up with somebody because that person was the son of a mafia don, and someone else was pretending to be their partner through a phone dating app thing, and they wouldn't show up in person for this confrontation, so she got volunteered for it, and then you showed up to basically drag her away and pretend like you were her master or some shit. All for this ploy, and that's just her life. That's just who she is. She can't be normal, and there's something really tragic about that. It's the same way I feel actually about Ada Wong, because Ada Wong is not her fucking name. She just goes by Ada. Yeah, Ada Wong is not Ada's name. She just goes by the name Ada. It's that same spy thing, that thrill of the adventure, but knowing that because of your life, you can't settle down, you can't do anything. A normal life is not for you. You are entirely committed to the bit. And I like that this
You've
character
just described the plot of Spy X Family. Congratulations.
Yeah, which is also a neat thing. At least with Spy X Family, though, they get to pretend being a family, so being part of the bit gives them that normality. But also they have some crazy conveniences, like their child that they adopted just happened to be psychic, and they're both really competent and dangerous individuals dealing with competent and dangerous things. And they get into some wacky hijinks like, haha, I got shot in the ass! Better not let everyone know! It's a real thing. That actually happened.
It does.
I need to continue watching that show.
So I bring up ZZZ with my own bits. What would you describe ZZZ with, Chalk? We'll get to Ronzi's opinion of ZZZ in a second.
It mirrors a lot of what you have to say. My choice in characters is a little bit different because I like Bernice. Because she's just fucking insane.
Just a little flame.
I am excited to see where things go next because I'm more invested in the story than anything else.
It's a good story.
Most of my enjoyment from gacha games comes from show me what you've got story-wise. There are very few gacha games I play because I enjoy the gameplay. I want to see how you justify your bullshit. And ZZ is one of the more enjoyable ones.
It's a fuck situation, if I'm being honest.
It is.
I'm guessing, Ronzi, you don't know much about the world of ZZZ.
No.
So, there are these...
I know a bit about Jane Doe's stuff because you've mentioned it, and I have looked up a little bit about her in particular.
So there are
That's
these
about it.
pocket dimensions, essentially, that are opening up. Well, I guess they're not dimensions, they're just pockets of really condensed, terrible, corruptive energies called hollows. Okay? And anything that's in it is starting to become corrupted by the energy, and if people go into it without proper things or even having the sort of like, I guess, constitution for being in there, you become a corrupted monster called an ethereal. And it's not pleasant looking. It completely alters you into these sort of black hole monster things. And it's a vicious cycle, and these things are just appearing everywhere. The fucking moon is like a giant hollow. Cities are being consumed by a giant hollow. There is a particular one called Hollow Zero that is fucking massive and is blocked off from the general public, and there's an entire organization that goes in there and tries to study it and monitor it for the dangers that it is. They're called the Hollow Investigation Association, I believe it is, the HIA.
Yes, you have HIA and you also have Hand.
Yes, and Hand.
They work hand in hand. Yes, pun intended.
And throughout this, you play not actually one of the main investigators per se. You play a sort of hacker character by the handle Phaethon, who is what's known as a proxy. And what you do is you basically hijack or connect into a thing called a Bangbu, which is like a sentient robo teddy bear. And you pilot it through the hollows to lead people safely through them. But you mainly use it to escort people like mercenaries and stuff who go into these dangerous pocket things to recover things or fight the monsters or do whatever they get paid to do, essentially, to go in there, because it's a very lucrative, dangerous business, right?
And highly illegal.
Highly illegal, doing it independently.
Yes.
So it's a big deal. I have not mentioned this, but one of the fun, spooky things is 3 of these people that you work directly with are straight up cops. I'm not counting Jane in that because Jane doesn't give a fuck, let's be honest.
She doesn't. She knows who you are. She could turn you in at any time, even before you came clean.
Exactly. And out of those cops, 2 of them are the most straight-laced, by-the-book motherfuckers out there. And then one of them is kind of a fucking goblin. And she's a robot. She's got her own thing going on, though. There's more to Jingyi than what meets the eye. It's so fucking sad and tragic, though, because not only are the hollows popping up anywhere, they can just appear. You can sort of create them by creating the necessary things for the corruption, which almost happens in the 4th chapter at the very least. And all the while, you're finding these little relics of stories that are happening and have happened in there. Like, going through some of the dungeon crawling within these hollow investigating things, you can find notes and recordings that people have made of them, like, there's nobody around here. There's money still in those banks. We could go in there and apprehend the money, and no one's gonna fucking stop us because of the corruption. Only for them to get in there and find that the money's corrupted, and they're starting to turn. Or that someone is trying to find their memoirs and collections from their deceased relatives or partners, only to find remnants that maybe those deceased people weren't quite so dead as they thought, and then they're taken out by the ethereal version of them. Little tragedies sprinkled everywhere, and all the while you're joining forces with these individuals that are trying to sort of make a mountain out of a molehill. That is the mountain of the fucking hollows that are over here from the construction companies that are trying to deal with this and create anti-corrupting machines to be able to try and reclaim or deal with the corruptive substances before they get out of hand or into things that they don't need to be in. To people trying to sort of clear out some of the more less densely populated hollows so people can live in it. Or even people who live out in the fringes away from all of these necessary resources that have to sort of deal with it by, like, setting fires and causing gas explosions just to keep things at bay. And there's probably a whole lot more that I haven't experienced.
Yeah, you really should go through at least the next chapter.
Oh, of course.
That's the big one.
Oh, of course I will.
And you do get to kind of fully understand the twins, fucking, I guess not twins, brother, sister, why they're doing what they're doing, and why they're doing it the way they're doing it.
Oh, I did get that at the end, actually, of the 4, where they're standing in front of the memorial, where they're trying to do this for their teacher, who was blamed for the Hollow Zero.
Yes, but you haven't really run around with Virgil Fox yet.
That's true. Not officially. Not on official capacity.
You have reached kind of the first part of their motivation. You'll understand more once you start dealing with her.
Gotcha. I also realized I totally hijacked me asking you what your thoughts are on that. Sorry.
Who? Asking who? My thoughts?
No, Chalk.
Are the animations good?
You're. Are they good? What do you know about? Tell us your experiences with ZZZ there, Karanzi.
Jane Doe is horny for everyone.
That's not actually that far off from her in the game, if I'm being honest.
Her trailer
yeah,
was especially horny.
Fair, but what I have seen is it's far more explicit.
Wow. The real Jane Doe story. Try ZZZ was not a fan, that's fine. Everybody has their own things. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you have to be a fan because I'm a fan. That's stupid.
Yeah, I am very picky with the free-to-play gotcha games that I play.
Uh-huh.
I've played a lot. I've spent a lot. So to the point I'm like, I need to stop. I think I played like one
Can't
now.
you move against anyone who got burnt out then pretty fast. No worries. No.
And like most of it is like, okay, I just need to pay one monthly fee to get my premium, and then that's pretty much it. I'll have to buy like a mini pack here and there to get what I need for a scene or something. Surprise, surprise! The one I play is an NSFW one, but I enjoy the story of it. And
Slightly taken aback by there, not so much that it was. It's just I didn't realize. Oh, holy shit! Wait a second. There's not safe for work gotcha games. What?
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh yeah, of course there is.
Me and my naive little brain here did not imagine that was even a thing, and never even pondered the idea that that was a thing. Dang. Learned so much.
Yeah, learned so much. So yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you were such a fan of ZZZ Currency.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Hey,
Well,
I'm a fan of many things.
Let's see, for gotcha games is a
know.
certain site's biggest appeal.
What, Nutaku? Not all of the ones on Nutaku are bad. A lot of their paid for ones are bad. There are a couple.
I'm not curious enough to go and Google that.
What?
I was like, huh.
That's,
Wonder what these look like. I think I can imagine.
to be honest, a number of them are actually on Steam now as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Still not curious enough.
I think the one that got me into the site from them was
They're all bad.
because it was on that site. It was renamed, and it's actually got two separate versions: one that they host off-site and one that they host through that site. It was Harem Heroes, and it's basically just a huge parody of anime. Like the opening stories for it was quite literally, you were isekai'd into this world by a bunny girl And these bunny girls go around trying to find people to bring into this universe. In your opening thing, you're in an orgy or a threesome or something like that. You get a delivery, and inside of it is a frickin' Dragon Ball Z. Not Dragon Ball Z, a One Piece dragon, like one of their dragon fruit.
Oh,
You
yes.
eat it,
The
you
like
gain powers.
Devil fruit.
And
yeah.
devil
then-
fruit things.
Devil fruit, that's the one, sorry. And then fucking Zero parody fucking rocks up and says, "You stole my devil fruit. We now have to have a sex battle." It's like, what? Oh, but yeah, there's just so many parodies of like every major anime that you can think of.
I was gonna go and say, that doesn't make any sense. That's completely nonsensical. Why would it even be that gameplay? And then I remembered, oh yeah, there's a game I like to play for Waifu Month outside of that called fucking Akiba Strip, where it's secret vampires and you fight them on Akihabara by peeling people's clothes off to expose them to the sun. But not everybody's a vampire, so sometimes you just strip people to their underwear for nothing.
Jesus.
That's a
I need
great
to play.
game.
I
Actually.
want to play those games.
They're great.
They are fun, genuinely.
Yeah, I can't remember there wasn't really much in the way of gameplay in that one. Like, it quite literally is just a visual novel. But there are points where you have like points where you are fighting with them because you need to collect certain items, but the majority of it is just you need to spend energy, money and everything to get through the story points on there, and then you just gotta wait until your energy recharges before you can continue the story.
That sounds like Farmville shit.
They got Crush Crush on it. Yeah, that's where I first learned of Crush Crush.
I know of Crush Crush. I know about Crush. Is Crush Crush from that place?
Yep.
No shit.
That's where it was first hosted.
Isn't there like
Well, no,
a
I think-
reverse
I
Crush
think it
Crush
was- I
that's
think-
like boys too?
Yes.
Yes.
What a world. I need to play more Husbando games on Life of Month.
I mean, that's the thing as well, is that a number of those games that you think
It's
of
everywhere.
have a male version, or have a an LGBT. Well, technically, most of them are LGBT anyway because they're male harem fantasies, but they'll have gay harem fantasies as well for them. They'll have that version.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the fact that we just got an ad. An ad started just now.
I don't know if it's first put on Nutaku, but it's everywhere now. No, so I think. I mean, I
Are you telling me that Crush Crush is breach containment?
Yeah. No, well, I'm fairly certain most of these games are hosted independently on websites to begin with. And then Nutaku went around and basically like, hey, we will publish this for you so that you've got a place where you can essentially legitimately launder your money through so you can get to the bigger things like, say, MasterCard, PayPal, and stuff like that. So you've got wider audiences, and we've got this platform that we're making for it.
Yeah, the developers do need to make money, even if they're indie developers.
Yeah. So they'll have people publish them, but like some of the publishers are pretty scuzzy. And there was a period that Nutaku went through where they were not great.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. There was a game I played. I can't remember. It was a Pokemon ripoff. That I couldn't believe wasn't an NSFW game that I met my ex through. Turns out it had a NSFW version.
You were playing the wrong one.
I was playing the wrong one, but if I was playing that one, I probably would not have met my ex, which not necessarily a good or a bad thing. But then if I didn't meet her, I probably wouldn't be streaming.
Yeah, side effects, cause and effect, all that.
Yeah, I mean, the giant segue if we go into that is that there are like just like thoughts that I constantly have is like if I was to relive, if I had a chance to relive my life again with the knowledge of what I know and the choices that I make and where they would lead, would I change anything? And my answers would be a resounding no, because they make me, those made me who I am, and I would not change anything.
I feel that. I do feel that. I feel like that question is always going to be a yes, not even just because of like the idea of changing things intentionally, but that foreknowledge is going to make me do different things. That's going to change it regardless. Butterfly effect, almost, if you would.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see what you mean. If you have that. Okay, so if you have the foreknowledge, because you have that foreknowledge, things would potentially play out differently.
Because
anyway.
I wouldn't have done things because I wouldn't have known them in the first place, or I wouldn't have gone after it because I've already experienced it.
Yeah, it's like it's a conscious choice, so that in of itself would change outcomes potentially. I see what you mean. I mean, if I didn't have knowledge, it's like, would I, even in the questions like, if I had the chance to change anything, any aspect of my life, or would I? The answer is still no. Because, again, it's like, I am where I am, and I'm at that point where I can have that choice because because of the choices that I made. Making that choice would that then put me in a place where I wouldn't be able to make that choice, thus creating a paradox.
Oh, no. You can't do that. You created a paradox.
I do. Yeah.
Paradox!
Protagonists.
Oh, not even that one. I was referencing a different thing. Though that's a good one. I was referencing, technically, the Secret Theater from MGS3.
God. You created a time paradox.
Yeah, like the 5D's Yu-Gi-Oh villain.
God.
We're all in different places, but similar.
Well, no, that's when I said protagonists.
Exactly. You're in that one. I'm in a different one. I don't even know where Chalk was.
Well, I'm in the abridged one.
Well, I mean, now we've brought up the single Yu-Gi-Oh series that I actually watched, so.
Card games on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
You have no idea how badly I want to ride around town with a dual disc on my arm on my motorcycle.
He's sort of already primed for this. He has an Egyptian motorcycle riding helmet.
I do in fact have a like shiny reflective gold hieroglyphic helmet.
Why do you think I'm an astrologian and I bought the SDS Fenrir?
So you could do card games on motorcycles.
So I could do card games on motorcycles.
I do have an interest in the astrologian. I just don't have an interest in being a support character in Final Fantasy. I understand the appearance. I understand the appeal. I understand why it's even appropriate and why it's necessary. I just want to kill things faster, so healing's not necessary.
No,
Also,
that's fair.
My dueled on a motorcycle once. They did.
I mean, I wish that they had more combat options for it or anything like that. But yeah.
I just prefer being the thing that's either getting the shit kicked out of them or the thing that's killing the thing that's kicking the shit out of someone.
Yeah.
Gun.
I usually end up taking the tank role because, well, Shin likes to play DPS when they can. Chalk plays a ranged DPS almost exclusively. You like to play a support. The tank is kind of out there.
I'm happy to play whatever.
I'm slowly learning Gunbreaker.
Gunbreaker is fun when you don't, when you do the class quests and unlock all of your abilities. When you
Yeah,
unlock
but-
your fucking passive abilities that you haven't had the entire
PSA
time.
for everybody who might be interested in Final Fantasy XIV and wants to play a tank, please use your tank stance.
Yes.
Yep.
Have we segued into talking about Final Fantasy XIV now?
It seems to be what's happened.
That's fine. It's almost been a year since we started playing that, actually, Ronzi.
It has been a year.
It has been a year. Oh shit.
I've got a calendar up from April 2024, and it looks like the first day I had scheduled for Final Fantasy was the 26th.
So it was a
so it's
couple
been
days
over a
ago.
year.
God damn.
Yep, it has been a year. Like literally as we were starting up and everything like that, and whenever I'm loading up on Fantasy, I noticed I need to buy more playtime. I have 8 days left, and I have accrued 360 days
I keep
worth
trying
of
to really get into
account
FF14.
time.
That happens. FF14 is the only MMO I have ever been able to really get into. The closest second was the DC Heroes MMO. And I enjoyed that one because it had a more active combat thing, and you were a superhero, and I like superheroes. But this one's a little different. RuneScape is that for me, but I don't play it much anymore, both versions. I just could never get into RuneScape.
So, I had an unhealthy relationship with WoW. Very unhealthy.
It's a normal story I've heard before.
That's a normal story.
True, so true. I also played a lot of the Neverwinter MMO as well.
I tried that one, and I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't.
Which version of it did you play?
I have no fucking idea. The PlayStation one, I guess.
Okay, so you probably played it after Cryptic got their hands on it.
Maybe. What I do know is that when I'm playing D&D, I want to be me. I want to be what I want to be, I want no restrictions in the possibilities and my plaything. Because Chalk and I are very out of the box thinkers when it comes to D&D things, and the two of us are Snoo has described this to me in sort of confidence, but it's fine. We are the people that they struggle to plan for.
Yes. And what's even worse is that the two of us take radically different routes in our out-of-the-box thinking.
So it's hard to really nail this down, and when they're DMing and there's both of us, that's too much chaos. Moon being chaos, the moon is chaos.
There is essentially the D&D that you can split the Neverwinter experience into two. Like, I played. This is how much of a fan of it was. I actually purchased twice the collector's edition, essentially. And so I like the game a lot. I played the game when it was first released, and in there you could essentially it was Neverwinter Night in MMO form. You had the ability to create player-created content.
Nice.
Which was a little broken through unintended side effects, so they had to kind of change that. But then that was only when Cryptic got a hold of it, and they essentially just overhauled the entire thing and turned it into another form of Champions Online and such like that. And you have two very different experiences from it.
Gotcha.
But I preferred it in its older incantation rather than the newer one, but I played a lot of the newer one, like making it into the upper echelons of a guild. Funnily enough, my Discord ended up being a splinter guild because me and 4 other of the officers had a falling out with the leadership.
Oh.
So we walked away. We did not like the way things were going. So we walked away intending on starting our own stuff, but that never really happened.
Dang.
Because we all just kind of like, we've got a real bad taste in the mouth. And also at the time, the way, like most of the people who were part of the guild, or the part of that group, we were also part of the Discord for Neverwinter. It's for the game.
Right.
So we could see where the builds were going, and some of us were active participants in the beta testing. And
That's
we
cool.
just didn't like where it was going, because PC was always a couple of patches ahead, so you could see where things were going and what PC were doing, and that would eventually come to console a little later, and we just didn't like what it was doing.
I'm sorry your MMO
So-
got purchased by another company and then became bad.
Hey, it's better than it being purchased by that same company and then them closing it down because they already had champions. And I am talking about City of Heroes and City of Villains.
Ooh. I appear to have trotted on a landmine. Oops.
Look, Cryptic's not bad, but they're not the best. And then I played a decent amount of Phantasy Star Online. Phantasy Star Online 2. Problem was I was the only one playing it.
I get you on that. Unfortunately, that's my
It's
way.
why I want more people to play it.
It's my preferred way of playing MMOs. Is on my own. I know
That's right. And
silly.
no, but I mean that's the thing with Phantasy Star Online 2. You can play it on your own.
You could also do that with Final Fantasy, which was one of the other appeals I had.
True.
Yeah, that is the main reason that I came back to Final Fantasy, because I spent a lot of time in a lot of MMOs because I had friends to play them with, and they were enjoyable that way. Final Fantasy is the only one that I've ever been able to properly enjoy alone, and I really like that.
Yeah.
At least your game didn't get bought out twice and became mega pay to win and became more pay to win over time. Realm of the Mad God. I remember Realm of the Mad God a long time ago. And I remember the only reason I played Realm of the Mad God was because Steam was doing some crazy thing that particular year about gaining coal with some big giveaway for every game on Steam that particular winter.
I do remember that as well.
Oh god, I remember the broken
Yeah.
giveaways that they had for it. Yeah.
That was some nonsense.
That was oh shit, that was something else that I wanted to talk about on here. Just some of the fucking crazy ARGs Steam used to do back in
Don't
the day.
talk to me about ARGs.
Did you ever take part? I think it was the Portal 2 ARG. Did you ever take part in that?
Yes! Yes, I did!
There are some games I own on Steam purely because of that fucking ARG. Freaking, I'm fairly certain The Ball was part of that. Amnesia, Amnesia 1 was part of that.
Ronzi,
Ugh.
Ronzi,
Yes.
Ronzi.
Kevin,
I need you to
Yeah.
look at me. I need you
Yeah.
to look me in the eyes.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
need you,
Yeah,
I
I'm
need you
looking you in
to.
the
I
eyes.
need you to ask me again. Have I participated in an ARG?
Not in an ARG. I mean, in that particular ARG. I know you've participated in ARGs. That's your entire thing. We're literally talking about that book a moment ago, which you just said was an ARG.
The granddaddy of them. And yes, of course, from getting the audio, doing the fucking spectrogram nonsense. What I fucking hate doing spectrogram things. The sound spectrogram audio makes is awful. And, like, you have to, first of all, you have to figure out, yep, that sound is absolutely a spectrogram. And then, two, you need to go through the process of doing that. And sometimes that requires audio file conversions, and that can destroy the spectrogram when you do it improperly, which I've done a lot because I'm a novice at this shit. I'm not some audio expert. I'm flying by the seat of my pants to figure out half of this shit in the first place. And then sometimes it's gibberish. Sometimes it's gibberish because it's locked behind some cipher that some madman decided to throw into this, and is like, how am I supposed to know I need to go and do a substitution cipher? You just figure it out. You roll up your sleeves and go, yep, I can absolutely think that 1 and 2 need to be substituted for D and E, which then represent a number that becomes a different letter, so I can get the word fart, so I can put that into a password on a website I could only find if I had a different game.
God, I mean, fuck it. We played that fucking horror ARG.
Yes! Yes, we did! And you want to know what? That had no spectrogram audio, and I was happy for it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you remember the fucking... I can't remember which one it was. I'm about 95% certain. It was Resident Evil 6. The controversy that caused in London.
No, actually. I don't think I'm aware of this.
It was either Resident Evil 6 or Resident Evil 5. I think it was 6.
RE5 seems like it would make more controversy for Africa.
True. But they fucking caused a panic from a scavenger hunt.
Oh, no.
They left prosthetic body parts of zombies lying around London.
I didn't hear about this, but I could... This sounds like weird video game bullshit.
Fucking Capcom done this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God.
Look, I know some very weird news stories. You know, like the fucking face-sitting protests in London's Parliament Square. Were you ever around? Were you part of that conversation, Chalk? Because you probably have no idea what I'm talking about there.
I'll be honest, I thought you were gonna be like, hey Chalk, were you part of that demonstration? Were you face-sitting on people out there in Parliament?
So, no. In fact, halfway through that conversation, I got up to go get a bottle opener.
Why did you get a bottle opener?
Because I'm slowly running out of soda from my stockpile, and I'm down to, like, my 6-pack of mini Coke. So I'm like, I need a bottle opener for this.
See.
Oh, talk about. I've got a bottle opener I can show you. I think you'll think mine's pretty cool.
I've got a bottle opener I can show you.
Sorry, I've got to put it off.
And I'll have you know that this thing is variable. It's one-handed or two-handed.
No, it's no-handed because it sticks to my fridge.
Oh, I thought you were driving them to drink. Chuck doesn't drink. Oh, that is cool.
Oh, that is neat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, my brother got that for me for one Christmas, I believe.
Yo.
But yeah, it's magnetic and it sticks to my fridge.
Nice.
But yes, so I find very weird and interesting stories in my perusals of the internet. I'm old.
Aren't we all?
Not as old as some. Well, I'm the oldest of us, I believe.
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I need
happy.
to finish your type of deal.
But yeah, it's shit. When was it? I think it was must have been late 2000s, I think. But basically, there were a number of law changes in the UK surrounding porn. Basically reclassifications of things, and this is all kind of coupled together.
I didn't know about the protest, but I do know of the story.
Yeah. So, I believe the two major things that were changed were basically they outlawed in adult video distributions basically squirting. They reclassified that as P, and basically that's just illegal. Any kind of water sport.
Okay, all right. Continue.
And yeah, face sitting. So having a woman sit on a partner's face became illegal
Why was
in,
face sitting illegal?
distributions. Got no idea. You know, it's a standard thing.
Everyone knows the standard practice of sex of face sitting. We all got the pamphlets. We all went through the training.
You know, it's a key
You know,
element
it's a girl,
of
guys.
It's a key element of 69ing. Either way, they made it illegal. So obviously, a number of people. It wasn't just adult entertainers; just random people were pissed by this. So they went outside of Parliament.
Sir,
Outside of Parliament, in Parliament Square, to protest this.
sir, I'm
Let's
sorry. They
literally-
couldn't be pissed. It's illegal to be pissed.
But yes, they basically went out into Parliament Square. They had people lying on their backs and then other people sitting on their faces in protest of this.
Damn. In front of a live studio audience, huh?
Yes, because there were live
Hold on.
cameras there. Because
Hold-
it was
hold
on
on.
the news.
Wait a second. It was illegal to distribute this, so the news fucking publicated a fucking article about people getting their face hit on, which was illegal.
It was on live news.
That's
There were like, live
hilarious.
feeds of it
Holy shit! In public, in Minecraft.
in public. Yes, in Trafalgar Square.
God damn.
No, I was not part of it. I had to work that day.
So tragic. Damn.
Face sitters.
Uh-huh.
It's just the same as the
Great job, everyone there.
the limit on personal toys
God's word.
that you are the limit of personal toys allowed in Texas.
I don't even know how that's enforceable.
It's not. It really isn't. And there's also a funny fact that I've learned like very recently, because I mean that's an old law as well. That's again back from like the early 2000s, from the late 2000s. But basically they just reclassify what they're called, as saying like sleep aids or something like that. I'm not joking.
I don't think you are. It's just this shit's so childish and stupid.
It is.
But yeah, it's like a limit of 6, because I think that was also around the time of like obviously you guys have a problem. Let's face it, you have a problem with a particular kind of violence.
I'm thinking the
and
children
obviously-
laws are dumb. Yeah, it's so stupid.
Oh, always.
Always. It's never about
If-
the children.
I have to
it's
get
never
this
about the
off of my
children.
chest. These two jokes, I have to get them out of my fucking brain because I'll explode. The first one
Yep.
was what the government doesn't want you to know is that the stores that are full of these things allow you to get as many as you want. I myself have acquired illegally as many as my hands could carry. I was gonna interrupt with that, and then all of a sudden it's just like, but think if the children laws are dumb. That's right, everybody. I want to think of the children with these sex toy laws. Everyone should think of the children with these sex toy laws.
Look, my view on it is if you, as a parent, need government to tell you how to keep your kids safe, you should not be a fucking parent. Just straight up facts. You should not be a parent. What are you even playing at?
But they can't take accountability. I am going to definitely say we should move on from this, though. This particular bit.
Either way, yes. Either way, what I was going to say was just I remember the stories of students on Texas universities handing out dildos in protest of the open carry laws whenever guns could be open carried in Texas universities.
Right. Is that a gun in your pants, or are you happy to see me? 20 paces, draw your weapon.
Yeah, there
I
is some
set
weird-
mine from
weird-
stun to maximum.
I think I've mentioned this story talking about weird. I mean, this is technically weird sex story, weird news articles. I think I've mentioned it to you, Mox. I don't think, Jorg, you've been here for this, but there was an article I remember reading way back when, again around that time, from Japan, wherein this kind of ties into their the rates at which people take their own lives out there, and just the incompetence of the police. They had marked up that this man took his own life. And a description of the crime scene was that they found him bled out on his bed, where he had been stabbed multiple times in the back.
Off to a great start.
Yep. He had his penis cut off,
As you do.
which was then under his bed.
For safekeeping.
Yep. There was then a trail of blood leading from the bed to the kitchen, and the knife was back in the chopping block.
Clearly self-inflicted.
Yes.
Interesting
That
thing
is-
to
that
come
is-
back to.
Back with.
That was the official police line that this man took his own life. There were reports from neighbors that he had had arguments with his ex-girlfriend that the day that he died.
Huh. Suspicious.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Not suspicious at all. Clearly.
It's a completely and totally normal thing.
Needless to say, the Japanese police force do great work. There are just obviously cases like this, and it does make you wonder. But,
Yeah. It does make you wonder. But, I mean, what man hasn't had the thought of stabbing themselves repeatedly in the back, cutting their dick off for the dick fairy, and then putting it back so that you can maybe make a sandwich later with that knife?
Yeah, exactly. And then climbing, and then getting back into bed and.
Because you're so tired from it, after all. You just need a little nap afterwards. I know I need a little pep in my step whenever I do this on a weekly basis.
Just a little bit. Yeah, you just exert yourself a little bit.
little bit
Yeah,
off
just
the
a little
end.
tired. Just a little tired, you know. Just need a little nap.
Just a little bit off the
just,
top.
Just a little
Yep.
eepy. I mean, if
I find
no, I'm not even.
very-
Never mind. I'm not even. Not even.
I find some very, very weird things.
It's the internet, man. It's what it's for. It's what it's about.
Oh yeah.
Though a musical number would tell me that it's for
But-
porn, I would disagree.
Yeah, no, but I mean, nowadays you would have to wonder, like, is what I'm reading even real, or is it
AI generated nonsense.
AI generated?
Speaking of
Yep.
AI generated, when I was trying to fit together a theme for this, just some kind of background and stuff like that, I was planning on trying to find like some stock photos of laboratories and stuff like that, or maybe even a cool little animation of like a camera on a laboratory doing things, right? Every stock photo site I went to was massively AI generated content. And it was so
Not surprised.
fucking stupid. I found the option for disabling no AI generated content, please. I would like real photos of things, right? And it's amazing how little there actually was after I did that.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want like some clip art of a fucking beaker? No! I would like lab footage, please. What do you mean it's AI generated schlop for all of it? Are scientists not real? Clearly not. Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Think. I guess floor is open. Anything else anyone want to talk about?
No, I've got nothing at the moment.
Ronzi?
What do you mean? I used that emote. Game?
Oh, you're playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I found a Vesta, and I'm standing here. I have been trying so many different emotes, and the first one that you obviously used to begin with these anyway is Lookout.
Right.
I used that like a few times to begin with. Nothing happened. I've fucking done it from the emotes menu, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that totally works.
Sometimes that's just what it takes. I don't get it, but it is.
I haven't done any of the Lookout stuff.
When I find them, I try to do them, but otherwise I don't really pursue them. I tried pursuing them early on and didn't realize that time and weather were factors in some of the older ones, and I didn't want to stand around in Limsa waiting for a goddamn fog-ridden day.
Yeah, in the base game, they require time and weather. From Heavensward onwards, they don't. It's the reason why in the Heavensward onward ones they don't have a description for the Vestas. But in the base in Realm Reborn they do.
Let's see. Here.
No, because I think I've thoroughly weeded out everyone to clear everyone off, that I've got nothing more to bring.
I see. Well, I still have
for the next one I've got some time. I'm going to find more weird and wacky stories to bring to the table.
That's completely fine. I suppose that I'll do a thing that I wanted to do, which was I wanted to talk about the tabletop shit that I'm doing. Because boy howdy, is there always a lot to say about the tabletop shit that we're always up to.
Yeah, there is.
So the game I'm running, which I'm actually going to be playing tonight with people, is Cyberpunk 2020. It is not the first edition, it's technically the second edition of Cyberpunk. That we discovered is inside of the Cyberpunk 2077's game files. If you own Cyberpunk for Steam or other online distributors like GOG and what have you, you can open your game files with the game installed and you can find a copy of the 2020 Player's Handbook in there.
Yep.
It's a really
That's
weird
cool.
detail that they hit into it, which I appreciate because it got us on this rabbit hole. Oh man, we went places. That game's wild. It also makes me think that the people who developed 2077 are cowards because they're missing so many details. But I'm not going to actually hold that against them because that would be stupid. To expect them to adhere to all of the nonsense from this shit. We don't even have all of the books and we're not adhering to all the nonsense of this shit.
No.
So why would I expect anyone else to do that kind of thing? Anywho, so what we're doing in Cyberpunk right now is we're actually doing a sort of step backwards in our timeline of things. We have 2 games of it technically running, and only one of them's active right now. And that's what we're calling A Team versus Team 1. So, because no team is less important. That was a thing that Snoo wanted, by the way.
I mean, there's Team DOA. I would argue they're less important.
Team DOA is our Suicide Squad team, and they were not supposed to survive that mission. You guys did by a grit of teeth and quick thinking, so that's a whole other ball of wax. Anywho, so this adventure is mostly to get a friend of ours who's known in the Discord as Obeezy into tabletoping after disastrous experiences that they've had in the past, and it's a way for them to play games with friends. And they've been having a blast when the Suicide Squad doesn't die, right? I was surprised that none of them did, and they fought some crazy shit, but, they avoided the real dangerous things, so...
Even the dog survived.
Even the dog survived, and yeah, they took a dog on this adventure with them. So... The main idea with this story is to bring up a plot point that actually doesn't matter until later for the other team, because they're way further in the future as far as things are considered, where they have discovered that the city is sort of has a Terminator problem. that there are these collective bits of nanomachines that are forming into solid globs of random things and people, and they're quite vicious. And when they become people, they do so not by copying their form, but by climbing inside of them and then bursting them from the inside and taking their place. Very vicious, very horrific, right? And it's sort of like a secret war that they're dealing with, because no one's gonna fucking believe them that this is happening, and this clearly doesn't get resolved because it's still a problem in the future. Or it does get resolved and something new happens. Who knows? We'll see how this all goes. Regardless, this will be a problem for future characters later. Anyway. So Obeezy's character is named Nico, based off of Nico Bellic. Nico Ballin.
I was literally thinking, Nico Bellic?
Yeah, based off Nico Bellic.
Cousin. I want to take me bowling.
Now, a couple of things I should bring up. The biggest one is that Obeezy is a black man, and he has his normal way of speaking. His character has a heavy Russian accent. So everything he's saying, we have to put through a filter in our brain that it is through a heavy Russian accent. That's a fun mental gymnastics with it. Makes him seem even crazier, which fits his acts of nonsense. This motherfucker's a reporter, and they've been recording things with a camera that they have in their eye. It is amazing that they have friends. Holy shit, the way that they treat their one actual friend.
Oh, Montoya does not deserve this fucker.
Montoya does not. She's oh god. Their first interaction with talking to each other after being established through backstory, because the way Cyberpunk makes a character is fucking amazing, and you have to generate the history of your character that can include having friends and enemies and disasters and all sorts of things, right? He got a friend in the police force, who I made and named after Montoya from Batman, because I was kind of on the spot and I needed something. And because it's Cyberpunk and no one's normal, I gave her 3 eyes on the left side of her face. Because it's Night City. You gotta have something weird about you. Never mind the fact that in our group we have someone who is a walking bird person. Just what it is, just how it be.
Just what it is.
The first interaction that Nico had with their cop friend is they took them and took advantage of their kindness by purchasing a bunch of vending machine food with their friend's debit card, essentially. Just a whole bunch of vending machine food to feed them, ultimately, no information on the current going-ons that they were supposed to. And then their friend keeps getting them sort of out of trouble by trying to conceal evidence of their involvements with nonsense for the promise of information of what the fuck is going on, which they didn't do.
No.
Which then led to, because of their actions, being targeted by said Terminator people and only surviving because the group happened to show up at the right time to help them finish this off. Everyone else in their apartment block got fucking wiped out and possibly body snatched. And now they're part of the team. And as part of the team, the next act of kindness Nico would do is, while there was a robbery going on that happened to be of a transport truck that was delivering vehicles that were vehicles for an auction that were being held, including the motorcycle of said bird person I mentioned before, they decided to join in the robbery, but steal everything that they could, including the bike, from the people who were trying to steal this, killed all of them, knocked a bunch of cars of just traffic out over the bridge they were on into the water, to which their cop friend was like, I'm gonna go save those people. Well, everyone else went and did the robbery. Hey Montoya, can I use your car? I'm gonna need it for getting things out of here. Sure, just don't lose the keys or whatever. Tosses the keys, goes to save people. They would later go and steal one of the cars from the transport and drive away with Montoya's keys still in their fucking pocket. So the police show up, and Montoya, thankfully being a cop on somewhat good grounds with it, was able to just be like, you know, I was here on scene, yada, yada, yada. And then they got stuck there because their car didn't have the keys, and they couldn't go anywhere. So they were there for several hours, just sitting in the road, on their own, waiting for things to change until they showed up. No one had a hotwire skill, Satch. Well, it wasn't so much that the hotwire skill wasn't a thing, it's that Montoya doesn't know how to hotwire a car.
Trust me, my character can hotwire a car. I hotwired like 3 cars that day.
A bunch of the other characters too. She's just a good person. I've made a cop that's not like the stereotypical Night City police officer, which sucks because she's too nice for this world and this group.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We are like one step above bloodthirsty mercenaries.
One step above. Just the one.
One step beyond.
Oh, man. And you want to know why they were initially going to where they were? Nico was trying to get information about where he could find a trustworthy, like, Ripper Doc to go and investigate the situation going on with him, because just before this, they were in an underground, like, Yakuza-style secret city, and there was a solid gold gate that got possessed by one of these monsters, and that got killed, but all of the gold from the gate started to become a liquid pile on the ground. Not molten liquid, just cold, room temperature liquid, which is a certain odd thing. And Nico was kind of rolling around in it, just dyeing his clothes gold.
Voluntarily, I will note.
Voluntarily. And then he got shot by a turret. And he got some of that gold nanomachine shit in his wounds. And that night, he passed the fuck out and woke up with all of his damage cleared. Where the scarring was liquid gold going through his body, and all of his clothes were mysteriously gone. Because the nanomachines absorbed it into his body to patch him. And that is the situation he was in. He was there to get information from the one person that they keep trying to get information from, who was a fixer I have named Egg. That's their name, is Egg.
Egg's great.
Egg is great. And why was Egg? Egg was hanging out with some nomads who wanted to show them donuts, and they thought those were actual donuts. What were they doing? They were the ones who were robbing that fucking truck that the team decided to go and rob. And then they picked up...
Fine.
They took Egg.
We got Egg donuts.
You got Egg donuts, and Egg got you some information, and then you gave information, and all of this left Montoya fucking stranded out in the middle of the city.
Oh dear.
It's not my fault. I have a new Porsche now.
That's true.
My fucking Porsche.
God. You saying about all of these crazy things reminds me of sort of things that some of my mods played. So the games that they mainly played, they played a lot of World of Darkness.
We're gonna be doing that at some point.
We're gonna be doing that.
Yes, you are. So I think I've told one of the campaigns the one campaign I ended up playing, and I played one of the snake peoples who don't technically exist, but they do. They're like the enforcers of the world. And yeah, that one there, we ended up encountering basically Irving from
Resident Evil
Resident Evil
5.
5. Which, you know, was a fun thing in of itself anyway. But that's not the story I'm telling here. One of my mods, Nikolai, he ended up making a werebear.
A werebear.
Now, when he makes characters, He goes crazy. So obviously you guys are playing World of Darkness coming up. So you obviously know that it has a system where you gain perk points to buy perks.
Yeah, the dots.
The dots.
Yes. You can also take negative traits
To get more dots.
to get more dots.
Yeah.
He would take as many negative traits as possible to gain things, to gain benefits and everything. That's just how he is. He is a min-maxer.
Gotcha.
But this particular bear, it was a Russian bear. So he too had a Russian accent. It was a former bear. It was a former circus bear. So anytime it would hear music, it would start dancing.
Gotcha.
But would also could fly into a murderous rage because it was mistreated in the circus.
Oh.
So yeah, this particular story, they were going into essentially the Datadyne building from Perfect Dark.
All right.
The GM for this, you liked to take references from things that obviously would exist in video games as well as it being in the real world and everything like that.
I mean, that's just how you do as a D&D player in general.
True. Especially in one where, obviously, in stuff like Cyberpunk and World of Darkness, they're technically still grounded in the Earth that we know.
Yeah. To clarify, when I say
To a
D&D, I'm
point.
referring to tabletops in general.
Tabletop in generals, yeah. That's barring the point that some of my old school friends wanted me to make a D&D setting based in the D&D game, but have it set in our hometown, completely from scratch, as my first attempt at DMing.
That's not a bad idea,
That's
at least you're familiar with it.
True, but you need to at least be familiar with world building and the mechanics of the game. But when it's your first foray into it, not the smartest idea.
Sir, I come from this D&D group that Chalk is a part of, where because I modified the tabletop we were in, everyone else decided to make their own fucking system and world, having never ran a game in their life and had minimal other tabletop experiences.
We all came to regret our decisions.
The worst,
Yeah,
the
Every
worst,
single one of us.
every one of you fuckers.
The thing is, none of my friends wanted to do that. They just wanted me to do it because they wanted to be the player characters.
Oh, I feel that. Oh my god, I feel that.
It may also not have helped the fact that they also ripped into me for casting protection against evil on a chest.
Why? No, why are they ripping into you for doing that?
Why? Because they're like, why would you do this? This doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's D&D. None of this makes any sense. I can do what I want.
Exactly.
For all I know, that chest could have been cursed.
Yeah. That's why you got to
Look,
do
man.
trap checks and arcana checks.
I play with my coworkers on Tuesday, and let me tell you, we have a character who is just referred to as chaotic stupid.
That's a player.
I don't
That's
try
always
to
one of those
figure out how
things.
other people function. I worry about my shit.
Fair. Anyway, I've got getting sidetracked. So, I'm not sure if you know much about some of the abilities that werebears. I think it's just the werebears, actually. No, I think most of them can.
Not
I think actually
100%.
most of the shapers.
All I have...
Most
We have a copy of Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition and Hunter the Reckoning 5th edition, and I have a bootlegged version of Mage the Awakening on my phone. And I have a
Yeah.
copy of some other setting books that I'm still reading through. So that's my extension of the knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know whether we were playing 3rd or 4th edition. I can't remember.
Was it? Did you have a hunter or a vampire or a regular werewolf?
We had a regular werewolf. We had
Okay, was it
Where-
werewolf?
I was-
Was it werewolf the apocalypse?
it was Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Okay,
Yeah.
then it was not 4th edition.
There possibly was 3rd, but I mean, we also had vampires. Like some of the characters were vampires, some of them were were creatures. Either way, in this one, there were various states that you could shift between for your were.
That sounds like what I'm familiar
species.
with for werewolves at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bears get rather large.
I can believe that.
He had the bright idea of shape changing into his largest form when he was in the elevator shaft.
Uh-oh. Protection from evil on a chest, that's the most sensible thing in that world. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's just like, I could see a good excuse for casting that spell on a chest. But anywho.
Yeah. So yeah, I got shit. I got shit for a lot of things that I'd done, which are very standard, simple things that are common that you would expect. Like that seems logical. Not to them. They're like, why are you doing that? You're crazy.
Usually I just ask, why are
Okay.
you doing this? And then we'll figure out from there.
Yeah.
You play Blue Flame, you understand how I work.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, some of the characters that Frank Quickbasher / Nikolai made were insane because he's slightly insane himself, and it's great.
Got friends like that.
Yeah, like the in the campaign that I played with them, because I was listening in. That was the one before I started playing with them. So I was listening in just to get a feel for what it was like, what they were doing, and everything like that. Even though I'd known these guys for years beforehand, I wasn't sure how they played the tables and everything like that. Anyway, the character he managed to convince the GM to let him make a demon.
Oh my god, what? Alright.
Yeah, like we mixed and matched a lot of the things. Like I wanted to play a mage, but they were becoming incredibly more complicated, so I just went with the weresnakes.
I mean, being a
because
magic
it-
user with Paradox is complicated or something? I wouldn't know anything about
Yep.
that.
Nope, yep. I know a decent amount of it because I was trying to learn that so I could play one.
I am a hunter. I have drones.
Hey, I milked myself so I could get snake venom.
Yes, that's the reason you did it. Nothing else.
But yeah, he made a he ended up making a demon, essentially, and the character, well, the person he'd chosen to inhabit was a cross between two characters. He played the character real well. It was a cross between Alexander Armstrong
Alright.
and Groundskeeper Willie.
Alright.
Specifically, the Alexander Armstrong from FMAB.
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's always Brotherhood.
Yep.
It's the objectively better version.
So, yeah. At which point, he promptly, took a bite out of me as well.
Oh,
Because... Well, his character couldn't swim.
no. One of the negatives you took.
pretty much. And we were dealing with stuff underwater. And he was drowning, and we knew he was drowning because he just walked into the ocean and just walked across the floor. Things were getting bad. I, being a snake, can move through water fluidly, so I went down to rescue him. He was confused when this giant, essentially what he thought was a tentacle, wrapped around him.
And in his
And
fantasy
he
fight,
thrashed. He thrashed and lashed out. Well, no, his gloves did, because his gloves were corrosive
Oh no.
and took a chunk out the side of me. So I was bad. I was in a bad state. I almost died because of it.
Jesus.
No hard feelings to him or anything like that. It's just that's just how it went.
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah. So luckily I had a demi-sphere plane that I could go into to recuperate from.
Just cause. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Alright.
well, that's just how the snakes are. They need a place to hide, so they hide in demi-planes, and depending on how rich you are, depends on how lavish it is. And I was fairly rich.
What is so funny? What is so funny?
Yeah, it is. Like, wealth is a stat.
Wealth is a stat. If wealth is a thing you spend dots on,
Yes.
it's ridiculous. So we're getting close to what I would say was the end of this. There is a thing I want to do for these podcast bits, that I am totally stealing from another podcast, unabashedly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They do this a more aggressive than what I want to do with this, which is a friendly thing of recommendations that you may have that the others could enjoy, or things that you would like to share, or experiences, or what have you. And it's open to kind of whatever, so long as, it's reasonable. You can't be like, all right, Chalk, I'm going to recommend you to go into space. That kind of thing. But you could be like, yo, hey, Chalk, check out this space game. I'm using Chalk as an example for no other reason than I just happened to see his cola head. So it's understandable, since I don't think this was brought up about this possibly being a thing. If you don't have anything, that's completely fine. You could figure something out if you want, or you could pass. It's not a big deal. But I have a recommendation for the both of you. I just have to remember what the fuck it's called, because in this moment, when it's crucial for me to remember, I have forgored. Come on, brain. Okay. It is called A Dark Room. Okay. And I'm going to put this over in our Discord for you to have the thing for. I'll put it in, I guess, a games list. Okay. It is a browser-based game. Okay. That is a... Oh, God. Sound of fire. Okay, it is a browser-based game that is fascinating to me. It is one that I just kind of stumbled across one day. That is sort of like an idle game, and is sort of like a adventure game all in one. Where essentially you start in a situation where all you know is that you're in like an abandoned space in the woods, and it's cold, and you need to start a fire. That's all you know. And then things start happening, and things start escalating, and you start having to build things as necessary as things go, and then you start having to explore the world, and go and deal with the things in the darkness. And I find it very fucking cool. It's free. It's just called A Dark Room. You can find it on Google. That's my recommendation. If you're listening to this and you think this sounds neat, go ahead and check it out for yourselves. Again, it's free. If you're listening to this and you don't have access to the internet, how did you get here? Again, who are you? What is your destiny?
How did I get here?
How did I get here? Let's go by. This is copyrighted song. Alrighty. Any recommendations from you two, or do you need a second? Or do you want to pass?
Tell you what, I can recommend a manga that I follow.
Okay.
It is called Gachiakuta.
You're gonna have to spell that.
Let me just put it in fucking. I'll put it in Frog Zone.
Got it. We might need to create a new thing for the. You know what? I'm just gonna create a new thing for this. New thing specifically.
I'll put it here for now.
Wait a second, textile. We could put it in fucking textile. This is the perfect place for it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
This is specifically for this sort of thing.
Yeah, here.
Gachiakuta.
It is one I enjoy. I don't know if it'll be up Karanzi's alley. It might be up your alley, Mox.
Gotcha. Would you like to explain?
It is about a somewhat mentally unstable kid that gets kicked out of his community into a world of trash where he basically has to figure out how to survive and reuse garbage.
That does sound neat.
That sounds fairly similar to an anime or manga, the series from a couple of cores ago, Weakest Tamer, I think it was.
Hmm.
Probably a different premise and everything like that, but yeah, no, it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
To fill more air, why exactly would you like to recommend this? I guess to add more things to exposit about.
It's simply that I enjoy it, and hopefully you can enjoy it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, spotlight's on you, Ronzi. All eyes on you. Don't crack under the pressure. You're being observed, appropriately and inappropriately, probably, maybe.
True. And I would like to recommend a series of books.
All right.
And at the very least, I know that I have recommended them to you before, Mox. Obviously, I'll extend this to Chalk as well, if you have not read them. If you can find a hold of them, whether it be via the audiobook or actual like PDF, or actually get physical copies of them. But the series is called the Clerics Quintet.
All right. You want to put it into the textile, I suppose? This is going to be a lot of reading for me for next month. Oh, all of this reading. My poor eyes are going to get worn out. I'm going to need a nice dubby to restore my energies. If only there was a place I could get said dubby. There's an ad break at this exact moment when I started doing an ad read. How unfortunate. Anywho, w.gg, Porchem, 10% off. Do it, buy it, do it, buy it.
No escape from the commercials.
No escape. Can't escape crossing fate. R.A. Salvatore, that motherfucker.
Yes. Yes. So
R.A.
it is
Salvatore?
it is the creator of Dritz.
But-
And these are again D&D books.
But what if
But
I
this-
don't like Dritz?
You be happy. This series does not include Dritz.
Wow. The lack of
He
Dritz
doesn't-
steward and inclusion has made my interest in this book rise.
He does not show up. These characters do cross over into that thing, and he wrote this series to set up these characters. But I genuinely think, because I think these were made. So he wrote the first series, the Crystal Shard series, or the Icewind Dale trilogy. He wrote those, then he went to the next one, then he went backwards, then he wrote these because he wanted to introduce more characters. So he gave them backstories and gave them their own series to really flesh them out to reach the point that they were. And I honestly think the world building that he's got in this and the dilemmas that the characters face are genuinely gripping and can stand on their own apart from everything else.
Gotcha. Right. We got funny recommendations. Wow. Well, that's everything that I had on my topic docket list. Every little thing. Top to bottom. I guess before we get out of here, there is one last thing I want to talk about, and that's what we're doing tomorrow. Oh my fucking god, we're starting Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow.
Yep. Fill the void that Blue Flame left.
I suppose. That definitely wasn't the intention. I bought Trinky for their birthday a copy of Baldur's Gate 3. If you don't know who Trinky is, I am Trinky. Look them up. They're awesome. Look up Paranzi and Chaka as well. You can find all
Why
of
would
them
you
on
do that?
Twitch.
Don't look me up.
Don't you stop.
Don't look me up.
Don't you start self-deprecating here, sir.
You have heard the shit I have put out here. I am
You
not
are
much better
Trinky?
on my own stream.
No, I am not Trinky.
No.
We're starting Baldur's Gate tomorrow, and I am nervous about it for the starting of things, and simply because of my unique position in being in this, which is appropriate since I'm one of those forever DM types. So naturally, I have knowledge on a lot of things. Because, Ronzi, you've played it, but you didn't get particularly far because murder hobos.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then Chalk's not playing. He's not a part of it just simply because we were kind of full up. Only 4 people.
Even then, I will be returning to work, so I probably won't be able to stick around during the times you play. So. True that. So it's gonna be myself, Snoo, Karanzi, and Trinky going into this, and I'm playing a particular path called the Dark Urge. If you know what that is, you understand my trepidations. If you don't know what that is, I am an individual who was haunted by a darkness inside of me that wants out so fucking badly and will do anything in its power to turn me into a gibbering psychopath. You play games? I know, shocking. And I'm playing a paladin on top of that. A paladin who's going to be a warlock, who's also going to be a sorcerer, because madness. Stygian madness, you might say. And I'm trying to not be that evil person. Trinky's never played this, and Snoo hasn't gotten very far, and I don't know if Gronzi's ever experienced the Dirge.
No, none of the characters we have. I think we were all playing custom paths. None of us
So
were the Dark
it's
Urge.
all going to be an experience where I am unique out of the group because of my shenanigans that are going to be their own things. And of all the things, I'm trying to prevent some tragedies, and I am trying to prevent a specific one very early on, and I'm trying to stop something way later on, and if I fail that last one in particular, I'm fucked. Completely. It is the only one in the entire bit of the game that if I fail this, it's basically game over for me specifically. And there's a lot riding on me, but also because I have this foreknowledge of things. I don't know if I can bring myself to do what I'm unfortunately set up to do, which is be the face character. Because I'm the charisma character. You're based off wisdom and dexterity and strength. Snoo's gonna be based off of dexterity and intelligence. And I think Trinky's gonna be based off of wisdom as well. I'm the only charisma character.
I'm Dex Wiz Con.
Dex was con,
Not
yeah.
strength.
I am the only charisma character. So I'm kind of the one who is set up to be the guy who talks to things, and that's great and all, but I don't want it to take away the first experiences everyone has. And it's a dilemma I have.
Well, no. So I was doing a lot of the talking in our playthrough, even though I wasn't a charisma character. So I still think if you want someone else to take the lead on the talking and being the face, do it.
It's not...
What we need you for is for the sales.
Well, maybe not necessarily. I know how to do the perfect 100% discount without getting in trouble. Whether I can
Fair
convince the others to do it is another story, and if we don't, I'm not going to be upset. That's not the point. The point of this is, I don't mind being the guy who does the talking, and I especially don't mind being the guy in the front because I'm absolutely the tank. I'm 100% the tank.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're not going to be some tanky onesie, but you're the one who's going to be dealing damage up close, while I'm the one gathering everyone's attention.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. I mean, like it doesn't really matter who does the talking. Sometimes failure is a good thing.
you're correct.
It's more entertaining.
And I want to keep our failures, but there are a couple of things that I am gonna have to save Sprout before. In particular, is there are some events that will provoke my darkness, and once it starts, there is no stopping it. Unless we reload a save. And that's what I intend to do if necessary.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like, I remember at one point in the playthrough that I done, like, I was in the middle of a conversation trying to make some sales, and you know, their urges came over them, and they decided to explode the entire place.
Right.
I think you probably know where I'm talking about.
Yeah. Hold on.
They're like, what if I fired this fireball? What would happen? Well, you'd fuck me over.
Let me find something. I might have something funny to share here in a second. We have time. I just have to remember where this is located.
Yeah, that's fine. I also have a clip. I was in a conversation. I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler. We know that the people know that he's in there. I was talking with Volo. In a conversation with him. The thief of the group decided, during the middle of this conversation I was having, to pickpocket him. And I ask, why is there self-checks going? Why is these going? Suddenly he fails one, and Volo just bolted out of the camp. And I'm like, I was in the middle of a conversation here. Could you not wait?
I'm looking for something specific, which is unfortunately going to require me to dig through a bunch of old footage. That's definitely not it. That's the proper shit. Okay, so I didn't put it in the proper thing. Or fucking shit, fug. Where did? Nope, that's not it. Where did I put this? There's no way I've lost it. I just don't remember where it's gone. Unless I put it in somewhere really funny. Stall for time. Keep talking about things. Stall! Stall!
Oh!
Have you ever known me to be a talkative person?
No.
So the character that I'm going to be playing, another nice thing about this is that it coincides with the release of 1.8.
Yeah, so we have the most up to date.
So we have the new subclasses. Yeah, and they've introduced a new subclasses all classes. So I am playing the new monk subclass, and I'm going to be playing a drunken master monk. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
It's absolutely going to be a lot of fun. I know it's going to be a good time. I have my own worries, but for the most part, I'm not going to be too different from everyone else as far as things go. Where there are some differences is mostly just going to be in that I have my own sort of adventures to do.
Yeah.
It's not.
So something that I think that we may not be doing, which I think is a little bit of a shame, is we won't be able to drow our way through everything.
I thought about being a drow, but I'm not. I thought about it.
I mean, I thought of being a drow. But obviously you convinced me to be a halfling because of the halfling luck.
Because of luck, yeah.
Which I'm like, that's actually a pretty good thing.
Oh my god, I have lost this completely. I don't know where any of these are. Oh no. Oh no, that's so sad. I've lost my old recordings of me and Man-Meat adventures.
Oh god.
Man-Me Venture.
Yeah, Man-Meat adventure. So he bought me Baldur's Gate. Man-Meat's my brother, for people's clarification. He bought me Baldur's Gate way back, and I played it while it was still in the beta stage, right? And played it with the early access thing. So we got to experience the older Baldur's Gate. We had some very hilarious interactions. My favorite one, and I'm so sad I can't find footage, was talking to two distressed individuals out in the road over their wounded friend. And I'm having this conversation with them after I have wound up separated from everybody because I jumped off a cliff. Because I could, and I was just like, oh, well, the game's letting me do this, let's see what's down here. And then I was, a lowly warlock on their own. No, I was a sorcerer at the time. On their own. Being like, oh, fuck, oh, shit, oh, fuck. Also, I had no armor on because for some reason I had a higher AC without armor on. So I'm in my underwear, walking around the woods, and I stumbled across these people in distress with a wounded friend, and then some story plot stuff started happening, right? And while I'm doing this, Man-Meat, in the background, is jumping around with his giant flaming greatsword. And he comes across me. And in the conversations I'm having, you can see him jumping around behind me. And then he comes up and he starts stealthing and walking up to these people. Giant greatswords still in front of him. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you up to? And he's just like, hey, check this out, check this out. And then I see a thing in the upper left-hand corner. Sleight of hand successful. He's pickpocketing these people as I am talking to them. And then all of a sudden he fails. And the conversation I'm in ends. And the person I'm talking to accuses me of stealing from their purse. And I'm like, no, that wasn't fucking me. And I had to have this conversation. And I had a DC 0 fucking persuasion check I had to do. Because I didn't do it. And I passed it. And they're like, well, I'm going to keep an eye on you, sir. And then they drew their weapons on me. And we had to kill them. And yeah, my mate's response to the whole thing was, lol. I played with a murder hobo.
I had instances of that as well.
Our adventures through Baldur's Gate can be described as we show up in a place, we talk about, we do quests, and then we kill everyone on the map. To be fair, we never killed everyone on the map because we wanted to, or because Man-Meat wanted to. It was because circumstances led to us where we had no choice but to. We wiped off all the enemies on the first area. Then we had to kill off an entire encampment. And then that encampment just disappeared. And then in the second area, we fucked up an event and had to kill everybody. And then we killed all of the cultists in that area. And when we got to Baldur's Gate, I was waiting for the hammer to drop, if I'm being honest. It never did, but it was still possible.
Time to slaughter everyone in Baldur's Gate.
Yup! I was just waiting for it to happen. I was just waiting for that one check to suddenly fail, and suddenly we were public enemy number 1 and had to kill everyone in Baldur's Gate.
Something I would like for us to do is for us to play some of the older, if we can find time, because I know we've got a huge list of things.
We have
But
to
like finding
switch.
time to play some of the older D&D games.
I kind of want to play Divinity 2, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's also fair.
Alrighty. Well, I think this seems like a good place to end it at the moment, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
Nope.
Nope.
Alrighty. Then we'll see about ending this here. Thank you guys for listening, and for those who are watching. I might try and put this out there somewhere else as well. I have an idea for somewhere I'd like to publish these particular things on a different channel that we haven't used in a while. Give that some life. Give that some purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, again, thank you guys for watching. It means a lot. I'll see you guys next month, around the end of next month, and probably have things to talk about from these recommendations, which will be fun and exciting. And who knows who will also be joining us at that time. It could be the same people. It could be new people. Who knows? Well, until then, I hope you all stay safe, stay hydrated, and remember to wash your hands. Stream ending, and Ronzi has disappeared.
No.
He's gone.
Okay,
I'm in the void.
podcast over. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.